We're on the move, baby.
Some good old soul disco there, baby.
We got the moves. We got the grooves. Here on the Automotive Ed Radio Show today, live, El Dorado Chevrolet, 380 and 75, 9-time dealer of the year.
9 times in a row.
In a row, without a hiccup. And you need to come out and see why. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. Get out here and find out why.
It's an order.
That's right.
We know where you live.
And thanks for joining us here on the Automotive Ed Radio Show, the show that helps you with all your automotive needs, whether you're buying, selling, trading, leasing, parts, service, or body shop. Joining us, the man, the myth, the legend, hide your wives, Big Wheel Bo Carver.
Yes. Yeah, hide your wives for sure. Not because they have to worry about anything except me.
I don't know why women are so attracted to you.
What do you think?
I think it's the Bojo.
The Bojo? It's kind of like Mojo.
Yeah, but you got the Bojo.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I have the Kavarka.
Yeah, you do got the Kavorka. Everywhere we go, oh, Bo, there's Bo. What's it like working with Bo? Oh, my gosh. Really?
And Sherry Morrison right off the bat says, good morning, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're off and running. We're just getting kicked off here at El Dorado Chevrolet live here on location in McKinney, Texas, here at 75 and what's the exit? 380?
Yep.
380. Take 380 exit coming out of Dallas. We're down on the right a little bit. El Dorado Chevrolet, El Dorado Mazda. We're here till noon. Here on Talk Radio 1190 KFXR every Saturday morning from 8 to noon. But then we're on our social media sites too. If you like to join us there on the Automotive Edge Facebook page, that's the Automotive Edge Facebook page. Our sister station page, our sister Facebook page is Shifting Gears. Then we're on LinkedIn under Kurt Chase. So if you go to LinkedIn a lot, dial into Kurt Chase, KURTCHASE. Then we're on YouTube, and it's youtube.com/the Automotive Edge Radio Show. youtube.com/the Automotive Edge Radio Show. So there is no excuses why that you can't be a part of what we do here every Saturday morning, to where we're trying to help you with all your automotive needs, where you're buying, selling, leasing, parts, service, tires, wheels. I don't know. Anything's got a wheel, maybe. We can help you if you any got a wheel. Boat, trailer, whatever you need.
Yeah, I remember we helped you out with a couple of Kubota tractors.
Yeah. That's a little bit out of our wheelhouse, but we know connections there with you. And the service is free. If you need to know what you need to know before you go, what your trade value is, what you're looking for, where you want to go for getting treated right at a dealership, and all that can be handled by going to theautomotiveedge.com, theautomotiveedge.com. Ask the question to Kurt. Is it ask Kurt? Click on Kurt. What is it now? I forgot. On the website.
Contact Kurt.
Leave your name and phone number. Say, call me. I got a question. Or if you have that question, you can ask. But it's best to just leave the number and get in touch with you and walk you through all the details that you need for your vehicle needs.
Yeah, right when you go to the new website, which they did a great job on it, and you click on it, there's that little message icon for you to hit and leave the message and come right to us. All you got to really do is leave a name and number. I appreciate all the extensive emails.
Long dissertations.
Well, the other day I got one. It was 4 pages. And I found out from their 1976 Bonneville to current. Great story. I got to tell you, reading through the whole, and I read the whole email.
Wouldn't you rather heard it over the phone? Maybe.
I don't know.
Either way, you got it. That's all right.
And it brought me back to a couple cool places. And they had a Tornado, which was, gosh, I wanted that car. They had the Riviera.
Wow.
And they've been a big domestic person. And so they wanted to connect and see what was out there. And they're going to be out here at El Dorado Chevrolet today.
Awesome.
They were hoping to get a Malibu before they're gone. I'm like, well, hurry up.
Yeah, probably not going to be here long.
Not too many left. But anyway, and then I jumped in my new El Dorado Chevrolet Thursday. Was it Thursday? No, Wednesday. Whatever day it was. Got my new high country.
Oh boy, man, those 407 barbecue trips and Dr. Peppers are piling up and in your behalf, I can tell you that. And I hadn't seen one of them yet.
Yeah, you're gonna get the sound of an 18-wheeler horn in front of your house is going to be a Dr. Pepper truck. It's going to be unloading.
And it still won't be enough.
You can say, this takes care of Kurt's bets.
Yeah. And you might as well send another truck just for future bets.
Did you see they have a no-sugar blackberry Dr. Pepper they just released?
No, I hadn't seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I'm sorry.
I don't get in all that stuff.
I know that sugar's bad for you. But if I'm having a Dr. Pepper, which I don't drink sodas very often, very rarely anymore, I want the real deal. I mean, one good hardcore Dr. Pepper, I want it the way it always has been. And I found out that there's 2 distributors for Dr. Pepper, Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Did you know that?
What?
So Dr. Pepper is not a bottling company.
Right.
So they have Coke that bottles some of their products and Pepsi that bottles some of the, and they're both have Dr. Pepper on them, and they're supposed to be both Dr. Pepper, but some are bottled by Coca-Cola and some are bottled by Pepsi.
Huh.
And they say that you can tell the difference in the taste. The bottle looks different, but so they say some of the real Dr. Pepper.
Remember what it said on the bottle? It was her bag advertising 2, 4, and 10.
Yeah, but I don't know what that means. I forgot.
And always, there's not a bad time for Dr. Pepper.
Oh, okay, yeah. 2, 4, and 10. Like it's always 5 o'clock somewhere.
That's right. I remember, it was really funny because growing up, I liked putting peanuts in my RC Cola.
Oh, yeah.
But back then it was Royal Crown. It wasn't, we didn't call it RC Cola. We called it Royal Crown.
Royal Crown was
and
great.
And everybody said the bottle cap was the crown, right?
Right.
And I put my peanuts in there. I tried that. You cannot do that with a Dr. Pepper. You can put peanuts in a Pepsi. You can put peanuts in an RC Cola. You cannot put peanuts in a Dr. Pepper. It totally destroys it. But sitting up underneath that big old oak tree, and I dump that bag of peanuts in there, and oh,
that was a big thing back in the day, putting the peanuts in a Coke or Royal Crown or Pepsi, I guess.
You couldn't do it in Dr. Pepper, and you couldn't do it in root beer or any of the Shastas because it was nasty. But for some reason, that Pepsi and that Royal Crown, that burn with them peanuts was good.
I wouldn't do anything with a Shasta. That's a nasty drink right there. Peanuts or nothing. No, I'm out on Shastas. And my mom used to buy that stuff. And I don't know why. It's nasty.
Did you okay over?
Maybe. You know the Heimlich maneuver? Would you give me what do you call it?
I'm afraid it was going to come out.
Would you give me, what is it? CPR if I really needed it?
I'll stomp on your chest.
What about breathing in my mouth? Come on, man.
I'm going to stomp on
you. Please.
I would.
Yeah, you say you love me all the time, but they're just going to stop there.
I'd call Melinda.
She's 2 hours away.
How fast can you get here to get both mouth to mouth?
Before he croaks.
I'll stomp on his chest till you get here.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be leaving out of here looking like my chest down to my heart.
You remember when you went and bought them sodas, you left a deposit.
Yeah, but you could get the money back when you brought the bottle back.
Yeah.
So if you, it's like
you just exchanged it.
3 cents.
Mine was a nickel.
Oh, you're a little older than I am. I mean, a little bit younger, but
it was a nickel. And then when you went and got the next one, you didn't have to put up a deposit.
Right. But if you brought a bunch of bottles in, which we used to do, collecting bottles, you could walk out there with $2 or $3. Those were great days back then.
I used to remember back those paper bags at the grocery store were thick.
Yeah.
And I'd get one of those and I'd ride up and down and fill
like those
with
bottles.
And then after a while, they're like, hey, you got to bring them in here clean.
Oh, you're just
you find them out by the lake or whatever. And I'd go in there, I'd rinse them all out and get them clean. And my mom, she used to laugh. She goes, how many bottles? I said, I made $7 this week. And that was money.
You better believe it was.
Collecting Coke bottles. And a bunch of my neighbors, they just give me the bottles just to, take up there. And then I had the wooden crate. and I had to rig it on the back of my bike where I could fill that wooden crate and then
where
take
the
it up
bottles
there.
sit in there in each little spot.
Oh yeah,
like a head carton.
oh yeah.
Those are great cartons those days.
And then they came out with those. It was a 22-ounce bottle, and that was worth 10 cents. For a while, they put the bigger bottles out. Only Coca-Cola did it.
You remember when you could go to the store and you got your whichever one you wanted, and you went down this little thing, started like a rat trap, and then you put it in the deal and you pulled it out.
Yeah, the racks were coolers.
Right.
They were all cold, and they just sat on there. It held by the bottle cap.
Yeah, and then you'd bring it around to the place. You put your money in, and then pull
the dime in
the
there.
little silver thing and pop up, and you pull it out. And it was nothing more frustrating when the sucker wouldn't open.
Oh yeah.
And it happened a few times.
Oh yeah.
Either the corn didn't take.
Kind of like a candy bar that got stuck.
Yeah,
in a
and
little
you
spinning
bang
thing.
on the thing. Yeah.
I broke one time.
Did you trying to get your candy bar?
Yeah, I'm just sitting there tapping on it, and all of a sudden the whole thing shattered.
Did you run?
No, I was running the dealership, and the guy goes, "Man, I'd have given you money for a candy bar." And I'm just there looking at him.
It's been a bad month.
Guy shows up, and he said, "What happened?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "Put the money in there, and that thing started turning." All of a sudden, I heard a loud pop, and the whole thing shattered.
That's crazy. Well, we do have an actual question right off the bat if you want to get into it, and we are an automotive show, but we digress and go off the rails a little bit and talk about a lot of little things are different out there. But Carrie Matthews says, "Hey guys, should I buy me a third generation 2 Dodge Ram 1500? Only thing it's blue and my other two are white." I read that right, but I don't quite understand it. Do you?
Say that again.
Hey guys, should I buy me a third gen 2? We got to go take a break.
Yeah, well, let's take a break. We'll get back.
Yeah, we'll figure this out.
Is it Carrie?
Yeah,
or Gary?
Carrie Matthews.
Carrie Matthews. All right, let's take a quick break. When we get back, we'll answer Carrie's question here on the Automotive Ed Radio Show on 1190 KFXR, part of the iHeartMedia Network. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Get her to clarify a little more.
Do you want to look at that? Did you see it? So he's talking about buying it, but it's blue and his others are white. So I don't know why the blue would be a problem because your other are white unless you only want white. And I guess he's asking should he buy one? Third generation 2 Dodge Ram 1500.
I don't know what that means.
Carrie, could you be a little bit more specific about what you're asking? Not sure what that means. Third generation 2, a Dodge Ram 1500. You don't know what that means, the third generation 2?
I know a third generation. I don't understand the 2.
Okay. He understands the third generation, but not what the 2 means. And good morning, Wesley Stewart. Thank you for tuning in. Ron Weiss.
Buddy, Wesley.
He has 2 Rams already, both generation 2 trucks, wants a third.
Oh, got it.
No, that's Ron Weiss. Oh, he has. Okay. I don't know. I think Ron's talking about Carrie has 2 Rams already.
Got it.
Both generations, 2 trucks, wants a third. So does that mean there was 2? The 2 that he has are 2 generation, and then he wants to get a third generation? Ron, you're trying to help us out, but we're still a little bit in the mud here. He has 2 Rams already, both generations, 2 trucks. Wants a third.
That doesn't make sense for me.
We're trying to figure out both Carrie. Boy, right off the bat, stump the panel.
Little Rubik's Cube going on here.
We got to stump the panel. If you want, you could call the show. We could maybe get you on air and maybe we could talk through it.
Yep.
The phone number is 214-787-1190. You can call.
What's That's a good looking truck out there sitting out front, that black one.
Oh boy. Already?
No, look right there.
I know. Already.
Nice looking truck.
It ain't been, what, a week?
I like the hood. 4 days. Got 148 miles on it. God, what a gorgeous day. Last night was just beautiful outside.
Yeah, I got to get a couple more days. I think I'm going to be mowing maybe Sunday afternoon and Monday. I might get a chance to mow. My grass is so tall. Just didn't get a chance to do it between that was still too wet, and then it rained again. So I got to get it. I think Tuesday and Wednesday it may talk about rain. So we'll have to see how that does on our drive out.
Well, I put down 10 wheelbarrows of dirt yesterday. Got my whole yard level. I'm done with the front.
Finally.
3 months. Then I planted 4 plum trees in the back, and I got the rest of my stuff going in today.
And still hospital free?
Yeah.
That's a miracle in itself right there.
A little abracadabra for you here on this gorgeous Saturday morning. Boy, the Lord has blessed us with another beautiful day. Getting up in the 80s tops. The ride in today was incredible. I got to tell you what, where are these people needing to go where they're doing 90 miles an hour on a Saturday morning at 6:30?
I don't know. I just think it's where we are with how people are driving on the roads. I don't think they're in a hurry to get where they're going. I just think that's the way they drive. There's not, can't be that many people going that fast all the time to just beat the clock. I think they just drive fast.
Yeah, are they going? Is there free gasoline somewhere every Saturday morning?
Free cheeseburgers or
something. Yeah, free burrito and a Oscar Mayer whistle. I don't know.
That's a good question to ask our listeners. If give us your opinion, do you think that the people out there, or maybe yourself out there driving fast, is just because it's the way these vehicles are made and that they go and you like to just get down the road, that you're not really in a time crunch, that you just get up and go? I know for me, I have to drive 80 miles an hour just to keep from getting run over.
I am coming up 121 and I'm at about 78 miles an hour and people are blowing by me.
Yes.
I mean, just blowing by me. I'm going,
they're doing 100 easy.
Where can you be going at this rate of speed? Where are you going? 90 miles an hour. Where are you going? I mean, it passed me that fast and I'm at 78.
We're not talking about one person. We're talking about many.
Lots of them.
Lots of them. Good morning, Ralph Paul. Thank you.
Well, hey, we've got a lot to cover today. There's a lot going on in the auto industry. We want to make sure that you're up to date with what's going on. And then if you want to know where to go, who to see, and how to do it, always go to theautomotiveedge.com, click on Contact Kurt. And actually, when you go to the website, theautomotiveedge.com, there's a little message icon that pops up. Just click on it, leave me your name and number. If you want to leave a dissertation, that's fine if you don't have to, because when I call you, I've always got a pen and piece of paper, and I'm taking very finite notes to make sure that we're getting you exact or as close to exact as you're wanting when it comes to a newer pre-owned vehicle. And I answered a lot of phone calls this week with moms and dads, bought some really, 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 if I didn't say really, really bad buckets of bolts, and they're in a lot of trouble. And they called me after the fact, and one bought a pickup truck, and this thing, the transmission completely went out 3 days after they bought it. And now they got a $7,800 repair. And he's like, what do we do? And I said, buddy, there's one of two things. You can junk it or go to driver's edge and get your transmission. I said, they finance. But it was really tough. And then I had one, the vehicle was totally repainted. They brought it up and they were so proud of it. And the guy goes, what do you think? And I'm looking on it. And did you get it checked out? This, that, and the other. And he said, why? So, well, the car has been totally repainted. Doesn't mean it's a bad car, but the whole car has been totally repainted. He goes, well, you're full of you know what. And I went, okay, well, have a good day. He goes, well, I'm going to sue them if it was. I'm like, who are you going to sue? And so he bought it from an individual, and the guy didn't. I mean, the paint job, right when I walked up, I knew the car had been totally repainted. It was very obvious to me. Didn't mean it's a bad car. Sometimes, hail damage or whatever the case may be, people get their cars repainted. But
we have a caller.
Anyway, let's go to the phone lines. Who do we have joining us on the Automotive Edge hotline this morning?
Oh, this would be Kerry.
Kerry, what's up, buddy? How are you?
We're trying to understand your question.
I'm doing pretty good.
Thank you for calling so we
All
can
right, guys.
get down to the nitty-gritty of your question.
Okay. Well, I got two second generation Dodgers. I got a 98 and an 01.
Uh-huh.
Both of them are white. One's an 8-foot bed and one's a 6-foot bed.
Okay.
Now, they both work. They both work just fine. Now, I'm thinking about buying me a third one that's sitting across the street from a shop at work.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should buy a third one or not, boys.
But you said it's a
I already got
generation
two of them.
3?
No.
Okay.
Gen 2.
Okay.
Gen 2.
Even the new one.
Too, but he
That
just
old
wants third
98
truck.
one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know why you shouldn't.
I
All right. Well, we're going to get a storage unit and get a third one.
Yeah, what I would tell you, I would, when it comes to pickup trucks, always get them suckers checked out. Always, always. If you take that truck, you can take it over to Driver's Edge Auto Repair. Tell them I sent you, and they'll do a $35 headlight to taillight check on that truck and make sure you're getting a good bucket of bolts with your money.
Are you here in the Metroplex?
Okay, yeah.
Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I live in Princeton. So,
Okay.
Well, you're right down the street from us.
Oh, yeah.
We're here in McKinney
Where y'all
today.
at today?
We're in McKinney.
El Dorado Chevrolet.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, I might let you guys check out one of these Dodgers then.
Yeah, and you've got that brand new one there on Virginia Parkway here in McKinney, and just make the appointment, get them to check out. For $35 going headlight to taillight, you can't beat it, and then you know what
Oh, no.
you're paying. And then if it gets a little crowded over there with 3 trucks, you can give Bo or Kurt a truck.
Yeah, I could drive it for you during the week if you don't need it.
Yeah, we'll make sure it stays LOF'd and
Gas and food,
we'll
all
do
that.
that for you. Come by and see us, Kerry.
Sounds like
Good
a deal.
talking with you.
Yeah, and take that truck by
Good
Driver's
talking with you
Edge, okay?
I will. Driver's Edge. Got you.
All
Take
right,
care.
brother.
Thanks for calling.
214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190. And for everybody, mydriversedge.com. That's mydriversedge.com. 21-year sponsor of the Automotive Edge radio show. And $35, check it before you buy it. A lot of heartbreak this week. And it happens every year. Every year.
Well, this time of the year especially.
That moms and dads are out buying cars, and one they bought from a neighbor, and the car broke down a week after they bought it. Now they're feuding with the neighbors.
Yeah.
And they took
that feels some McCoys now, huh?
Well, they took the car and put it in the neighbor's driveway, so we want our money back. And the husband was like, "You're not getting a dime back." And so they call me, and they're out there feuding and get off my property, or I'm calling the police.
Wow.
And they parked the car and then kept the keys. And I'm like, what are you doing? So now they're going to call a tow truck. You're going to have to pay to get the truck out. I'm going, that's a tough old deal. But, when they told me what was going on with the vehicle, it was pretty obvious the previous owners knew what was wrong.
Those are the kind of shows I see on Forensic Files.
Yeah, it was.
That's not pretty, is it?
It was a tough deal because they knew.
You mean the seller knew?
And they said to them, well, you should have got it checked out.
Yeah.
And she was going, well, we went by your word. And the car started leaking oil immediately, and it needs a new head gasket, and, it needs some work on, about $1,900 worth of work. And so I said, well, here's the deal. Take that car over to Driver's Edge Auto Repair, and let me give them a call. And they did. They shaved the bill down to about $1,300. So they saved them $600, and they said, well, who's paying for this? I said, well, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And so they went over the neighbors, they're not paying. It just got ugly. And that's all we say, before you get into the family feud or, get into it with your aunts
or deep into your pockets. Know what you're getting into.
Yeah. Go get it checked out. The best thing I tell you, even if it's grandma's car, go get it checked out.
Oh, yeah.
For $35, because there could be something needed that is unseen. Nobody figured, well, at this point on the mileage, it's going to need this repair. and just go get it done. But it's, I had a friend that he bought his grandmother's Buick, and it was a 2000, early 2000 Buick LeSabre. It had 28,000 miles on it, and he didn't think it needed anything. Well, you got to remember, when cars aren't driven a lot and they sit out in the sun, the polymer is gone and things start to come apart. Things become brittle. Things become old. So he had to go in there and change out all the hoses and belts, and he had to put a new weather stripping around the windshield. There was a lot of stuff that needed to be done. He goes, I had no idea I was going to spend X. And I went, well, you bought a 20-year-old car that's been sitting out in the sun, and it was one of the ones that you hear the little old lady drove to church back, and that's basically what she did.
Yeah.
To the grocery store and whatever the case may be, but it had no miles on it that year. She's driving, 500 miles a year? With that being said, things get old, and they get brittle, and they get dried out, and they need to be replaced. And it's just, the way it works. And so, and a lot of that's unforeseen. And,
well, you never know when something can happen anyway. But it's best to know, before you make a deal, what you might be dealing with, that they know. Vehicles are like anything else, refrigerators or TVs, something can happen at any time, no matter what the age of the vehicle is. But if you know that you've got it checked out and they say, hey, it's checked out good, at least you got a better idea that, hey, I'm pretty good shape, for now.
Well, when you have a car that's, hasn't been driven a lot, and all of a sudden you get in it and start driving it a lot.
Yeah, it changes everything, doesn't it?
There's some things that can start happening to that car. And that's why I always say, get it checked out, get all the fluids dropped and replaced. Take a look at your serpentine belt, your hoses. Go ahead and get that done. A lot of that stuff, if you got a screwdriver and you know how to tighten up a clamp, you can do it yourself. If you're not inclined to even mess with it, take it over to Driver's Edge Auto Repair and get them to take and do the work. But there's this was a heartbreaking week for listeners calling me about the problems they're having with cars they bought. And every one of them said, what do I do? Where do I go from here? And I went, I've got nothing other than take it to Driver's Edge and tell them that I sent you, and, work out a deal getting those cars repaired. And it's tough because for the average person that walks up to an automobile and looks at it, they have visually, they think it's sound. Visually, they think it looks good. They drive it and the air conditioner's blowing cold and they figured, okay. And they look at the tires look good. And it's just a very basic scenario that they're going with to look at this automobile and go, that's the one I want to buy.
Well, if you've never heard of the concept or the theory or the statement, lipstick on a pig, that can happen a lot with vehicles for sure.
Well, it can. And a lot of these people, they're cash buyers.
Right.
And they've taken.
Well, they get, when they get a price that hey, this is a great deal, the money's good, I got the money, it overtakes their reasoning, I believe.
Yeah.
It's real easy to get that way. I get it. I've been guilty of it before in my life too, to where you go like, I got the money for it. This looks really good. I believe it's going to be fine. And you do it. And then, not so deal. So just be cautious and let eyes look at that vehicle before you buy it. Driver's Edge, go to the Driver's Edge place, make an appointment, look at it. And if you're worried about body work, get in touch with Kurt, automotiveedge.com, and let him take a look at that, because he can see, he's really got an eye for paint jobs and body work. And so, and more importantly, water damage. And trust me, that may be a bigger problem than any others.
Well, what the consumers are facing right now are cars with illegal inspection stickers on them. Cars that have been underwater that they're not made aware of. Cars that have been wrecked that's not reported to Auto Check or Carfax.
And they wonder how that could happen. But the way that happens is that they get a friend to fix the car, that they know, and they don't do any kind of reporting of of that vehicle being damaged, so it doesn't make it to a Carfax. So there's ways around that. Just you can't put 100% on the fact that it's in or out of Carfax.
Yeah, and the mandates on reporting are very generic, very basic. And so get another set of eyes on it. I've got 6 cars to look at today that are private sales, and I'll be looking at every one of them on the way home today. And it's a tough old deal. It really, really is. And then, you know, and the one family, they've been saving since their son got to high school.
Yeah.
And the kid's been adding money to the kitty, and they've been adding money to the kitty, and they had a little over $16,000 put aside, and they bought a car, and now they got a $7,800 repair on it. And they could have bought a brand new automobile for what now they're going to pay for that vehicle. And they're like, what do we do? Is this a lemon? Can we sue them? I'm going, well, you showed up, you drove the car, you handed them the money. And did they tell you this? No. Did they say this? No. Did you ask these questions? No. Well, unfortunately, it's your car.
I think we have to take a break.
And so
you do?
People talk about cooling off period.
We sure do,
don't have it. Let's take a quick break. 214-787-1190. That's 214-787-1190. Quick break. We'll be right back.
So Ronnie Swain says, good morning, Kurt. Bo is just full of information today. I'm full of something.
Yes, he is.
Well, I had a chance to wake up this morning at the drive here.
Would you start 11 o'clock last night?
Yeah, okay, it started last night. but Googled it.
Wait, coming up for all the folks here on Facebook, we're going to be posting new ride and drive videos. Bo and I are going to be going around driving all sorts of makes and model vehicles, and we'll be doing our own opinions from the inside out and the test drive, and posting that on the Automotive Edge radio show. So it will be it'll be humoring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see,
to say the least.
We'll be fighting who's driving. Give me the wheel.
Yeah, it's going to be
Look
really interesting.
All I can tell you right now, folks, when you tune into these videos, get ready for a lot of horn honking when Kurt's driving. Okay,
just honk the horn.
Just preparing you for that.
I honk the horn.
There's never a time you're on the phone with me and you're in the vehicle that I don't hear that horn honk. It never fails.
But I only honk for one reason.
What's that?
They're on their cell phone and they won't go through the green light.
I don't care what the reasoning is. The fact that you honk your horn is the fact.
So I'm at in front of the whatever they call the indoor swimming pool, aquatic center or whatever.
Yeah.
And I honk. She's not paying. I lay on the horn and she gets out of the car. You know what she says?
What?
I'm on the phone. Then I really laid on the horn till she took off. And I thought she was waving at me, but there was only one finger involved. So it's like, golly.
Did she have all the other fingers attached to the hand, or just?
Yeah, it was. I went, you got to be kidding me. You're sitting at a light on the phone, holding up traffic, and everybody else is bad but you.
Yeah, well, of course. It's called, it's the way it rolls.
Yeah, Kurt don't play. I'll give you a little tap. Second time, I'm going to lay on the horn.
You better wrap that new truck of yours in those big old iron up front things in the back. What do they call the big old iron cattle guards in the front.
What?
Get you a winch in the back when they get in the way, winch them right out of the way.
Mad Max it.
Exactly. Put have the wheels that's got all the little studs on them. That's like you could, like a knife, you can pull over and hit their tire and blow it out. You seen those?
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy, man.
I love the commercial where these guys are pull up and, they're talking smack and the guy holds up a pistol and he goes, really? And he turns around, puts a bazooka on him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac,
I don't know that this was on my disco list,
but it's a good song. Fleetwood Mac. Listen to this a lot of times. Back
but it's not disco.
Mr. Chase, you don't have enough songs to fill.
How many more songs do you need?
Hey, Maddie, just play the same song over
Yeah.
and over.
How many more songs do you need, Maddie?
I need at least 20 more songs.
Got it. Done. You'll have them Monday.
You don't like Dreams, though?
This is a great
It's
song.
okay.
Oh, man. See,
He's Mr. Grumpy.
yes, he is.
No, I mean, I got to have lunch with Stevie Nicks.
Well, then you should be excited about
You
hearing
should
the
be
song.
excited. This is a great song.
Yes, it
It
is.
is. It's a good song. It's not disco.
You know, the
It is
beauty's in
disco. It's 70s.
Maddie. Beauty's in the eyes of the beholder, and 2 out of 3 wins, so he's out. It's a great song.
214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190. Coming up at 9:30, we want to talk about process. I have more people contacting me about process. How do you get in and get out of a dealership and buy a car? And we're going to run through that at the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour for you, the consumer, you, the listener. And I will teach you and tell you the fastest way to get in and get out. But I will tell you this up front. Saturdays, you need to be a little more patient. That's when, 75% of the vehicle buying goes on are Saturdays. And it's when the dealers are, rocking and rolling. I remember I worked at a dealership, and one Saturday we sold 112 cars. 112. And we got out of there at midnight, and this couple was, they're ready to hang me. And I told them, there were so many people. We had 3 finance guys going. I was doing every bit of paperwork that I could to get them done. I was doing the odometer statements and the WEOs, and boy, oh boy, we were trying to get it done. We were delivering the cars ahead of getting into finance, where they knew everything about the car. We're setting the radio station, but it's different times now on how things get set up. And we're going to cover that process coming at the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour. And then we're going to be talking about interest rates and credit. A lot of people are contacting me going, hey, I pulled my credit score. Is this a good rate? And there's so much more to that question, especially in today's economy, on the way banks look at things and the way dealers work with banks to get approvals. And so we got a great show coming up for you, I think. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of partial.
Well, Ron Weiss says last purchase he made, it took over 3 hours to get in and out. Was that a Saturday? Number one. And
3 hours is not a long time.
I was just fixing to say 3 hours is really not that bad. I mean, when you have to consider all that has to be done. So I don't think that's bad. Ron, what did you want?
Well, everybody, you'd be surprised how many people come in to buy a vehicle when I was running. And actually,
They thought it'd take about an hour.
I said, you got an hour. I said, when can you come back? And what they were saying is they don't want to be there a long time. You can't buy a car in an hour. And I'll never forget it, about 10 years ago, one of my buddies, he said, we're going to make sure that you buy a car in an hour. And I went, there's got to be a catch here. And there was. They're going to make sure everything's done. They pulled your credit. They put you in the car. And if they can't get you in and out of finance immediately, you came back. But you're only going to be there an hour, but you're going to have to come back and do the paperwork, which is kind of risky. But, a lot of people understood. It's, being the second largest purchase of your life, I don't think that you want to do it really quick. I mean, if you're paying cash, who cares? But if you're financing a vehicle and you want to understand the contract, you want to understand your rate, you want to understand all the products that are in F&I, because there are people that when I was managing dealerships, a couple of them tried to sue us because they said that they wouldn't have had the costly repairs if they would have bought the product in finance that was not presented to them. lo and behold, when I was running dealerships, we had them sign a form that everything has been fully explained to you in F&I. And now they record it. They have cameras. They record the transaction. So if you were to say this happened or that happened, I did or I didn't, well, then we just turn
Roll
on
the
video.
tape.
Yeah.
They do like in the football games. Let's go to the video.
I had a buddy that the guy was in the finance office, and she took the down payment and put it in her desk, and she stepped out to make copies. Well, he reached in there and got that down payment, put it back in his pocket, left the dealership. And they called him and said, "Hey, you need to bring that down payment back." "No, I already got the truck. I gave it to her." And they said, "Sir,
Oh boy.
we got you on video taking that money."
Yeah.
And the guy was dumb enough to go to court.
Are you kidding
And
me?
he told the judge, "How do you know what was in that envelope? How do you know?"
Well,
And so
he's really pressing it, isn't he?
yeah, there, it's it kind of goes two ways there. You always got a few flakes. Come
We
in
know
and
a
out,
lot of
but
judges, and I'm afraid that you wouldn't want to stand before the ones we know with that comment. They would be asking you, "Well, prove to us what was in the envelope."
yeah, that's a slippery slope. But anyway, we want
Yeah,
to
we
clear a
don't want
lot of
you to
that
go
up
there.
because
We want to make your purchase a nice, memorable, exciting event, and take away all the previous things in the past you might have had bad thoughts about or experiences with, or people tell you what were bad. It's a new day, and we have a lot of great dealers that we deal with that are our sponsors. They're not the old school way anymore.
they want to get you in and out. They don't.
Yes.
They know you don't want to hang out. And,
No.
have 10 cups of coffee. Maybe if they're cooking burgers, slam a few burgers down. But
Invite you back next week for another hearing. No, we're at El Dorado Chevrolet today, and they're 9 times in a row Dealer of the Year. Now, they don't get that.
Chevy Dealer of the Year.
Okay, Chevy Dealer.
Clarify that.
Okay, well, you corrected me. But
no, I just said clarified. I didn't correct you. I just said clarify.
Okay, I'll take that. Staying corrected. But
no, you're correct. I just wanted to clarify that it was Chevy.
Yeah.
So people know if they're looking for a Chevy.
Yeah, okay. But they didn't get that just by selling a bunch of vehicles. It's about service. It's about tending to you as a customer, taking care of you, doing what's right when you come in, allowing you to test drive a car without buying it right on the spot. No pressure, none of that stuff.
Right.
And that's the new way. And if you would like to have that way when you get ready to purchase a vehicle, we have people that allow that to happen for you. And with Kurt's help, your life could be made easy when it comes down to purchasing another vehicle.
214-787-1190 is the number. Let's take a quick break, introduce you some great sponsors. We'll be right back. Truck out there, and that sure looks good in the sun.
Well, you want to get yours appraised? You want to go get yours appraised? Hey, give me your keys and let me bring it up here. Or, who does the appraisal here? Where's he at?
Yeah, that didn't process paperwork.
Where's he at? I want to get him appraised it. You want to test drive that new one?
I got to stay away.
And thanks, everybody. We got people tuning in. Will Sakala, good morning to you.
No way. Will Sakala is taking time
Say good
out of
morning
his big wheels day to tune into the show, the Will Sakala.
And thank you, Ron Weiss. Thank you, Clint Moore. All y'all for tuning in and being a part. Ronnie Swain. Just Susan Ludwig. Thanks for tuning in. Ralph Paul.
We'll give Shelly a big hug from the Automotive Ed Radio Show. And we've been praying a good healing on that woman. I know she's coming along real well from her surgery. And we miss her and love her.
And Kelsey's birthday was yesterday, I believe.
Yep. And I was there and I got to hug her neck on Thursday. And she still looked like a teenager.
Wow.
I was like, when I saw how old she was, I was like, you got to be kidding me. You still look like a kid.
Well, she comes from good DNA.
Shelly.
Yeah.
Not Will.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's
good. She looks like her mother.
that's what I was getting at. I didn't want to go that far down the left, but there,
And then they got that son, 6'5".
Oh yeah, he's a good looking kid.
I'm going. Yeah, they look like their mama.
Yeah.
And Will, he had the audacity. Will Sakala had the audacity to talk to me about trading quick. I was like, boy, oh boy, are you nuts or what?
Oh, he says being a Steeler fan helps her. Well, what happened to you? What happened on your end, Will? My brother. I love you, brother.
Yeah.
We got to throw sticks at each other. It wouldn't be fun.
He had to have this Genesis. Had to have it.
Oh, yeah, he got it.
It's gone.
It's already gone?
It's gone. Had to have this other car. Oh, it's gone. Had to have this Challenger. Oh, man, it's gone.
But drubbing you for being a quickie?
Yes, I showed him the new truck, and he was made a comment and went, really? You're going to call me crazy?
The person you expect to get a little bit of patting on the back from.
Yeah, that's the people in the asylum calling each other crazy, just.
He says owning a business got me.
Well, there's a place to go for Alcohol Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous and
being a Steelers fan, they've got those
whatever kind of addict
recoveries.
But they don't have one for Cars Anonymous.
Oh, they don't. I told Kurt the other day, Will, that we needed to do one of those interventions. And bring everybody in on buying vehicles all the time. Do we need to add Will to that too?
It was the first time Melinda has ever said anything. She saw that truck in the driveway. She walked in the house. She goes, "What the heck?"
Will says they're just a bucket of bolts anyway. He says, like
that's
you
right.
say, trade away.
That's right.
Well, that's what you call them. Boogie Wonderland. Yeah, you do. Y'all do need an intervention for sure.
Oh, if we were neighbors, it'd be ugly.
It'd be real bad.
Yeah, we'd be replacing
they would think that
all the time.
The neighbors would think there was people moving in all the time instead of y'all buying something. Hey, we got new neighbors.
214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190. It's the Automotive Ed Radio Show, helping you with all your automotive needs, whether you're buying, selling, trading, leasing, parts, service, or body shop. You can have help and not worry about the end result ever. So I'm not going to throw any names out, but a buddy of mine, Gary, or did I say his name?
Why don't you go ahead and tell him where he lives?
You know what he said to me? He goes, "Hey, Chief, I got this." Call me a chief. Said,
well,
Chief,
that's a compliment, isn't it? Kind of.
I guess so.
Unless he was being derogatory.
So he comes by and he brings me the paperwork and he goes, "Hey, big shooter, check this out."
Big shooter. Now that wasn't a compliment.
Yeah, it was. I'm looking at his paperwork and I went, "Wow, you really like this vehicle." And he goes, "Don't tell me it's a bad deal, blah, blah, blah." So I waited about a week and old Gary come back by. I said, "Hey, I want you to listen to something." Salesman left me a message. Play it. Yeah, who's big shooter now?
What happened?
Enjoy your vehicle. I made about 10 grand on him.
Well,
And he goes, I said, "What do you think they did?" He goes, "They made a couple $100. Really? And I'm doing the math in my head. I'm going, I don't think it's a couple $100. Big shooter.
Big Chief.
And you know what? Gross isn't a dirty word. Never has been. Gross is all what you make of it. But I tell people it's all in how you got it. And so people always ask me all the time, "Kurt, what's a fair profit on a car?" And that's always a great question. So I bought a new truck.
But doesn't it depend on the the demand of that vehicle too? Starting in
supply and demand, yeah.
But
let's just say there's 100 Chevy Silverados out
okay.
there. And I picked one out the other day. I wanted a Tahoe, and they're selling fast as they can build them. And so anyway, I saw this High Country. I went, God, that's a classy looking truck. I've never said that before. I've never said, wow, that's a classy looking truck. And it's a silver, has all the chrome on it. I mean, just a nice looking rig. And I went, okay. So Justin, new car director, gave me the numbers on it. And I had booked out the trade. And I went, you know what? I'm getting a pretty good discount on the vehicle. It's what I want. He's within X on the trade. I'm good. And I know what he made. I know what the bottom line was on it. And you know what? I am a good tipper for good service, and I'm fair when it comes to buying a car. So I always tell people, if you're buying, let's say, you know, the average vehicle is right now that people are buying roughly, let's just say $45,000. On a $45,000 rig, how much profit should they make? And nobody knows the answer. Nobody guesses at the answer. Nobody has an opinion on the matter. And I'm going, so if you're buying a $46,000 vehicle, is $2,000 profit too much?
No, I don't think so. Well, I think one of the things in people's minds, they don't want to be taken. And if you don't know about any of that kind of stuff, you don't know what the value of your trade is, whether you're buying a vehicle that's got a good price on it, you get in that limbo state of like, man, are they getting me or are they taking advantage of me? And that's all the more the reasons that you should go to the automotiveedge.com and contact Kurt and let him help you. That way that mind can be relieved of like, hey, that's a pretty good deal on the truck or vehicle. Your trade there, or what they're offering for your trade is really kind of spot on. Or maybe he can say you could probably get a little bit more for the trade. You might get a little bit less on the purchase of the vehicle. That way you can feel good about it instead of wondering and then be all anxious about it. And that's the thing, because I don't know. I don't know even being with you every Saturday. I don't know what would be a good deal for me on the trade of my vehicle and what I'm purchasing. I'm going to call you.
Well, everybody is, I'm not going to say everybody, 90% of the people are payment buyers. And all they do is they hone in on a payment. They don't look left at the selling price. They don't look right at the trade-in value. They see a payment and go, I can afford it, and then the deal's done. And you know what? That's not a bad way to buy a car if you're able to calculate the payments in your head to know what you're doing.
Right.
And I can calculate a payment in my head. And so I go, well, hang on a second here. Well, you got your tax deduction or trade. There's several moving figures here, and we just need to bring them all together where they're stationary, and you go, I got it. This works. Let's do business.
And that you're comfortable and feel good
30
when
seconds.
you drive away. You're happy and excited about the purchase.
No doubt. 214-787-1190. That's 214-787-1190. Let's take a quick break. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Gonna be a pretty day out here today, huh? Well, I tell you what, if I get any more rain, I'm gonna have to be moving in with you.
Yeah, I've got to dig about a 10-foot trench and redo my drain. They put it up on an angle, and it's not getting any water in at the corner of my patio. Just water
Sitting there.
everywhere.
Good morning, Art Naismith, giving us a big high
What'd you say,
five.
Art?
Dorothy Noon is tuned in. Thank you.
Hello, cuz. I love you very much. I need to get up north, hug your neck, and say hello. We need to do that.
Maybe we could take the GoPro and make a long trip up there in a vehicle.
We could do it.
We could have a good time, stop along the way.
Bring it back with 4,000 miles on it.
Well, we could do it. I did it with Graham a couple of years ago.
What we need to do is bring you and Barbara Ann up to the reunion.
Yeah.
And just,
That'd be fun.
hey, this is some more cousins y'all didn't know about in Texas. They wouldn't care. You two would fit right in with my family.
Bow chase. Well, it'd be fun.
Hey, Dorothy, are they still getting together on in August? I mean, they used to do that all the time.
Up in the Manhattan, New York area?
Well, a couple times it's been up at Eddie's place in New Jersey.
Okay, well,
And it used
northeast.
to be in Massapequa Park, and they would rent the park, and the whole family would meet there. And then I heard that Teresa's son was going to host it. So next time the family gets together up there, if there's a big event, I sure would like to come up and see everybody.
Do you think that they'd like to see you?
Most. There's a few Democratic holdouts. Yeah, they really lowered the boom.
You
on
think
me.
if you showed up, they'd be having Antifa show up?
Now you know what?
He
Once
worked
you get together, all the hugs and kissing and love that goes on, you know, it all goes away. I mean,
Well,
everybody's got their beliefs and their ways and their understanding of whatever.
But-
And, you know, it's always,
you shouldn't take it out on your family. I mean,
well, that's the easiest one to take it out on.
yeah, but
Because you get to say stuff to your family you normally wouldn't say to anybody.
but let me ask you this question: of all your family members,
Hey,
do you have people in all your family, and I know it's a big family, have different religious beliefs?
oh yeah.
So, but when you get in there, do y'all slap each other around because they're not you and your belief or their belief?
We know not to go there.
Okay, well then that's all the more the reason don't go there with the other. Just leave it alone. Understand that you have your thought process about the political side. They've got theirs. Let's just have a good time with family. But for some reason, just
It always takes a turn.
it always takes a turn. Yeah, and I think that's happened over the last 10 years because it used to not be that way. I mean, I used to get along with a lot of people that had different political opinions. They were Democrat or I was Republican. I'm more of an independent anyway. And, you know, we might throw something out of there, but we just move on and go, well, you know, you're crazy. And then we move on. You know, we didn't start wanting to, you know, pull out our guns and shoot each other over it. I mean, or get hateful over it or, you know, but that's happened over the last 10 years. People have lost a lot of family members as a result. And I know you've experienced that yourself, which is very sad.
Yeah, it's amazing that opinions can cause more problems than facts.
Yeah. And when
usually when you go, okay, well, back it up. What are the facts? You put the facts and then their opinions take over. And it was all over an election.
Well, another thing too is that we never know all the real truths about anything. So when you start biting your teeth into something, you're guaranteed that it's a fact. Boy, you might be stepping on a lot of nails there because we come to find out the things that we've been told were truthful for a long time. We come back years later, go like, well, that was a big fat lie. And you've lived on it forever thinking it was the truth.
Well, you know, if you say it enough times, you're going to believe it.
Bo is still so independent, he still votes for Pat Paulson. Yeah, I would if he was still here.
Who said that?
Art. No joke, baby. No joke.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, they say you can't discuss religion and politics. I am 100% don't believe that. It's all in how you discuss it. If you start to debate it, that's not a discussion.
30 seconds.
Well, it's a matter of you get so caught up in hate, you know, the people that want to be so hateful about it.
Well, that's because you believed everything that CNN told you or came over on your cell phone.
But that's what I just said. You know, when you bite your teeth on what you think is truthful, you got to be cautious about that because half the time politically, we don't know what the truth is.
And some people, they dig in so deep when they find out they're wrong.
Then they're afraid
won't
to
admit it.
face it. Right. Because that was so hard hitting.
Yeah. And, you know, it's tough. I I like what's going on with the government. People now are seeing all the corruption and all the scumbags and what they've done with our money.
Yep, that's the big problem.
And that's what you need to be mad at. Be mad at the 535 people in Congress. Don't be mad at your brother and your sister and your friends.
Mm-hmm.
We're on the news.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
No. Are you kidding me?
Let's
Well,
how's it going?
hey. What's happening?
Oh, we're moving over. Oh, keep talking. Okay, I'm supposed to keep talking. We're live here on the Automotive Edge radio show here at El Dorado Chevrolet in McKinney, Texas. And it is a beautiful morning here in North Texas. And we're hoping to continue that throughout the day in the next couple of days, because I sure need a little break from the rain so I can mow my yard, get it back down to some respectable height on the grass. But we are here every Saturday morning here on Talk Radio 1190 AM KFXR. It's an iHeartMedia Network station. And if you would like to be a part of our show each week, you can tune into the radio station. It's also, you can download the iHeartMedia app if you're across the country or wherever you may be. And then you can search Talk Radio 1190 Dallas every Saturday morning and find us that way on the iHeartMedia app. Or you can see our live streams by going to our Facebook page, the Automotive Edge Facebook page. That's the Automotive Edge. And that's on Facebook. Our sister station Facebook page is Shifting Gears. LinkedIn is Kurt Chase. We're live there simultaneously, as well as YouTube. Now, when you go to YouTube, you can go to youtube.com/the Automotive Edge Radio Show, or you can go to youtube.com and then search the Automotive Edge Radio Show. Lock into us and you'll find us there. And they're all live streaming simultaneously on all those spots, as well as on radio. Here with the host, the man, the guy that got it all started, that we're here now 21 years in it. The man, the guy who purchases a vehicle every 3 months, Kurt Chase.
I got to tell you, the greatest receptionist in the world works here at El Dorado Chevrolet. This lady comes in and opens up the dealership. And for all of you other dealers that are listening, she brought banana pudding.
Ooh.
Now, I got to tell you something. In my 37 years and over 20 of it running dealerships, nobody brought banana pudding.
That's my favorite.
Nobody.
She
brought in a bucket that would probably feed my family because we'd eat it quick.
Yeah.
This bucket of banana pudding, I knew it was because I saw the vanilla wafers. I mean, I can spot banana pudding a mile away.
Yeah.
And breakfast burritos and sausage and biscuits, and had coffee ready for the sales staff when they got here. So I don't know what to tell all you other dealers that are tuned in, but yeah, I'm going to tell you what, the best receptionist I've ever seen is right here at El Dorado. Oh, there she is right there. What a doll. I mean, you're talking about loving salespeople. This lady right here.
Banana pudding is my all-time favorite dessert.
She's got some special jewels in her crown in heaven.
Yeah, exactly.
Banana pudding, I could eat banana pudding any time of the day.
No doubt.
Huh.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. 214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190. I was talking to a couple of my dealer buddies, and I'm going, I'm really curious what the trade cycle is going to be like for you, the consumers, now that 84 month is becoming very, very popular with the consumer for one thing, and that's the cost of vehicles. They are so expensive now, depending on where you go. I mean, if you look over at Burleson Nissan with my buddy Justin Crane right there at 35 and Renfro Road in Burleson, you got the Altima, the Versa, the Nissan Kicks, and the Sentra, $25,000 or less. Brand new cars. In fact, when you get down to the Versa and the Sentra and the Kicks, you're talking around, 20, 21, 22, 23,000, depending on the options of the vehicle. Absolutely incredible for a brand new vehicle. So that one, you're looking at about, if you're to finance everything, 400, less than $400 a month to own one of those. no money out of pocket. Roughly when you do the math and you go, okay, what's 350 times 60? It's $21,500. That is your total balance to finance, which means you need to be financed somewhere around 19.5. They got cars pretty doggone close to that. And so, but that's not the norm. When you look at the other thing, the other side of it, when you start looking at these pickup trucks and SUVs and on and on. I saw a Jeep the other day, $100,000 for a Jeep. They are getting expensive, and you wonder when the manufacturers are going to go, hang on just a second. I think we're kind of getting close to pricing people out of the market.
But
no, wait a minute here. Let's do 84 months.
Well, and I was just going to say, if that's not going to hold them back, because they'll just go to 100 months. I mean, that's where we're going with this thing, because they see that that's working, and I don't care for that, but it's the reality for people that want a vehicle, that wants a good vehicle to go back and forth to work and their travels or whatever they need to do. You got to do what you got to do. That's what.
Well, the big thing is they think that AI is going to reduce the workforce and create lower pricing. And is that true? I wouldn't
buy that.
So
I wouldn't trust that.
I think that AI will probably create.
Well, what's the cost of
better
AI?
products?
I mean, you got to figure that's not cheap.
It just depends. I mean, nobody really knows what AI will cost. I know that they're, talking about all these robots. In fact, I saw this dancing robot the other day, blew me away how realistic it looked. Remember that movie with Will Smith, I, Robot?
Yeah.
You're going, well, how close are we to that? I don't even think about all that kind of stuff, because there's always a button to shut everything down. With that being said, you're still not going to replace 90% of the workforce on assembly with robots. You're just not. Anytime soon. I don't know. I don't know how much AI is going to change the price points of the vehicle, but I would just tell you this. There has to be a point where the manufacturers are going to have to start bringing down the price of vehicles, or hit a point where they're not increasing the price of vehicles. And when I went back and I started looking at vehicles which I thought were built better at the time, and I was a big Ford guy. I sold Fords for many, many years, and all I wanted to sell was Ford trucks. Didn't care about selling Escorts and Tauruses and Probes and Aerostars and all the rest of that stuff. I just didn't want to. I had to, because when somebody showed up on the lot, I was selling whatever, but I primarily want to stick with trucks. These things lasted a very, very, very long time. I remember so many times where people were coming back and seeing me 150, 175, 200,000 miles on their product going, let me have the white one. It was just that simple. Or giving me a call going, hey, Kurt, I remember when Ford came out with the two-tone. It was white with this beautiful gray metallic stripe down the side, and they had super cabs. And my phone rang off the hook. Hey, Kurt, get me gray and white super cab. Kurt, get me gray and white super cab. And I was calling.
It was like ordering a cheeseburger, huh?
And when they showed up, the delivery was
easy,
non-existent.
Yeah.
Here's the keys. There's your truck. Congratulations.
Right.
Because they knew. Same thing with me. I got my new truck, and I told the guy, I said, just do me a favor, in which I never thought these words would come out of my mouth. Pair my phone and hand me the keys. And he goes, well, there's so much more. And I went, no.
That's all he's going to use. It's like me with my computer. There's so much I can do on it, but I only do pay my bills with it.
Yeah. And so there's, you have your Apple CarPlay, you have your Android, you have, your Spot, all these things. You're pairing your phone and getting everything all lined up is pretty much it. Well, when you start looking at some of these other products, that delivery process can take a good amount of time because of all of the features. And it's tough because you're the consumer. You're so excited about your automobile. You just don't want to go through a whole lot of that and try to figure it out. And then you go to try to figure it out, and then you get frustrated about it. But bottom line, and I digress sometimes, the manufacturers are going to have to hit a point to go, this is enough. We're not going to convert over to 96-month financing, which would be the next step. And what's going to happen is you're going to push that ownership so far out that there will be less new vehicles built. If you figure back in 2020,
Well, isn't that some of the problem right now?
it was 12.2 years.
Isn't that some of the problem right now? Because there is a used.
Well, they're at
pre-owned
10.5
cars.
years now.
That's what I'm getting
Average
at.
ownership.
So people are keeping their vehicles longer. So the return or the pre-owned vehicles on the market are a lot less. So the prices of those have gone up. So
and they're
that's
having to keep them longer because when you're financing for 84 months at, the average rate on 84 months is about 12%. But that's a tough vehicle to get out of. I've got dealer buddies that they own the dealership. And if there's an 84-month contract, they want to know why before you contract them. Why are we putting somebody on an 84-month contract?
But that's going to change soon. It's going to be an automatic deal at some point where, well, if they need 84 months, just sign them up because that's where we're headed because of the price of the vehicles, and people want a good vehicle to drive and they want to be able to make the payments. And because the vehicles are well made, like you just said, there's 10 and a half years on average that people are keeping their vehicles.
Well, they want more and they can't afford it. So they just jump that term out to 84 months.
So they can't afford it. So they
some places 96 months. I'm going, wow, you really want that car that bad? And then
and for that long,
3.5 years or so in the deal with the average trade cycles around 42 months are going, I can't even blink.
I hate this vehicle. After
and think
4
about
years.
what I did and realize how far I'm upside down. And so I blinked and now I'm at 42 months and I've got to come 20 grand out of pocket. To
Still got to
it.
go another 40 something months.
I'm going, another 42 months. You're going, wow, just think about that 84-month financing. How bad do you want? And that's why I tell people, it's paramount that you take care of your vehicle. You keep it lubed up. You keep the tires good. You keep it in good shape where you got good trade material and wait until you can trade fairly.
And when you finance it for 84 months, be sure and get life insurance on it too.
Wow.
In case you don't make it for 8-9 years.
214-787-1190. Quick break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Peaches and herbs.
Time to shake it up,
You
baby.
can hear that bass near, can't you?
Do you remember? I remember a time, I could be wrong about this, but when you bought a vehicle that they wanted to know if you wanted life insurance with it. Are they still doing that anymore? Do you remember that time? Did you?
Well, I remember when they were selling credit life.
On the buyer. In other words, if you were financing that vehicle.
Well, they would sell credit life, which means that if something happened to you, the vehicle got paid off.
Well, that's life insurance.
Well, it was credit life.
So you mean
it was a big difference. It was credit life on the life of the vehicle, not your life.
What do you mean?
So you would buy, it was called accident and health credit life. So if you got sick or wasn't able to pay, the policy would pay. Credit life, if you died, the vehicle got paid, Barbara Ann got a clear title on the truck.
Well, it's the same thing as life insurance on it. If you died, it
on the vehicle,
it paid the vehicle off.
Yeah, it was called credit life.
Okay, yeah. They still do that?
No, nobody sells credit life no more.
I wonder why.
You have to go to your own insurance company and get it now. It's everybody does gap insurance now. Credit life,
which is great.
Is no one does. I don't know anybody that does anymore.
Well, most people probably have a regular life insurance that would cover that anyway. Nowadays. No,
Life policy don't cover any. You have to buy.
no,
credit.
I'm talking about if you have a good life policy, you could pay that car off anyway.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, based on the money you got back, no
Right.
doubt about it. But yeah, it's
But I thought it was
we
a pretty
sold a
good
lot of credit life, accident, health, and credit life when
deal.
I
I
was
thought that
running
was a
the
pretty
dealership.
good deal, really. I mean, I think I bought it a couple
Yeah, it was
times.
very inexpensive.
Right, it was. And
Yeah,
that-
kind of like gap insurance. People think that, gap insurance is expensive. It's not. It's a percentage of the selling price of the vehicle.
I need a credit life on you for this show in case something happens to you. I still get paid.
That would be, we'll do a term policy.
I'm gonna call my brother on
You
that.
get paid for another 2 years.
Would you
if
sign
I
that off? I
die.
paid the-
I'd do it.
Would you?
I'd do
If I
it.
paid the premium?
Yeah, I'd do it.
All right. I'm calling my brother. Don't
Call him.
you have to sign off on
I
it?
know Ken will do it.
I know he will do it. It's just something to get me by in case something happens.
I'm out there working in the yard.
I know your routine, dude.
Melinda goes, Kurt, you don't look good. Here's some rehydrate. You need to stop. I said, well, if something happens, you're going to be wealthy. She's like, are you kidding
Well,
me?
I'm going to be out of a job, so I think I need some protection there, and I'd pay the premium.
Yeah, do it 2 year after.
I don't know, get a term policy for.
Yeah, for at least 2 years, you get paid.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Cover maybe for 5 years.
Do I look like I'm fixing to croak?
But I know what you do in your yard and climbing ladders and way you drive on the freeway and stuff. I mean, I don't want to get that call.
But
I don't want to get that call. I guess what Kurt did, and this time it caught up with him.
and here's what Bo would say.
And then
Hey, Bo, we
Then I got to go belly up because I don't have a job anymore.
Kurt, Bo, we got some really bad news. What's the deal? Kurt died. Oh, well, at least I get paid for 2 years.
I'm going to go like, wow. Boy, did I make a good decision on that insurance policy.
Woo, sorry to see you go, Kurt, but keep them checks a coming.
I'm going to call him and raise it up. The older you get, the more I'm going to get.
There you go.
No, I'm
Good.
serious.
I'm not going to quit
Are
working
you
in the
good
yard.
with that? Because it's a business deal.
I don't care.
How much you worth?
Right now,
I guess I could need to put a price on you, right?
there you go. 214-787-1190 is the number. 214-787-1190. We are at 9-time Chevy Dealer of the Year. Let's take a look at what they got. 0% for 60 months on all SUV, all EVs. 0.9 for 60 months. Whoa. 0.9% on 60 months for Silverados. A savings of about $6,700 in interest savings. You got to like it. Total cash allowance for the military, $1,250. That's nice.
Yes.
Always got to take care of the military.
And first responders too. I believe it's
Yep.
in there, isn't it?
Yep, first responders as well. We love the military. We love the first responders, and they're the reason we do what we do. Bottom line, it's not because of you; it's because of what they've done and are doing to allow us to do what we do.
Yeah.
Anyway, come out, meet the folks out here, Eldorado Chevrolet, 380 and 75. See why they're 9-time Chevy Dealer of the Year. Jason Long, general sales manager, he knows not everybody's ready to buy, and so they roll out the red carpet, whether it's today, next month, next year. You'll always remember the attention, the service you got while shopping here at Eldorado Chevrolet and McKinney, 380 and 75, online all the time at EldoradoChevy.com. And then right next door, my buddy Tommy Melton. Stop over there and see him. That Mazda lineup is off the hook. Your CX-30, your CX-50. My favorite one of the Mazda lineup is the CX-70 Turbo V6. I love that vehicle. I've got a need for speed. And with all the luxury features and then the motor, that's a winner chicken dinner for me. And then you got the big CX-90 for you folks that got the families and love to ride together and travel together and be together. That CX-90 fills all those voids. Right here at 380 and 75, go to EldoradoMazda.com. So, coming up here at the bottom of the hour, we're going to peel back interest rates, what you should be looking at, and then I'm going to throw you a curveball on how that can actually change. So it is definitely not a one-size-fits-all And I'm going to talk to you about how that works behind the scenes to get you the numbers up front, but how that all can work to benefit you. And we'll get all that covered for you here coming up on the Automotive Ed Radio Show. And then, Bo, what do you got for us today?
I have a lot of things to say, but you'll have to wait till I figure out what I'm going to say to hear it. It'll come out.
I know we got, we haven't even said good morning to our sweet little Maddie Gomez.
Oh, yes, we have not. Maddie, you have
We're
to join.
sorry, Maddie. We love you. You're definitely,
Did you guys forget about me?
Bo did.
No, we were just.
Every time I went to talk about you, he hit my silence button.
Do you really believe that, Maddie?
Yes, she does.
I'm your number one supporter. You know that, right?
Yes, you were very kind to me this morning, so I know you're my number one supporter.
Whoa, whoa.
Is my number 2 today.
There you go. See?
Y'all have a good Saturday. I hope you and Maddie have
We
a good
can handle
show.
it. Maddie and I could do it. We can handle this show and rock and roll.
You know where Maddie was last week?
I know she was out, but I know where she was. She went to Austin or someplace. Right?
New York.
Oh,
Her brother graduated
that's
from
right.
Cornell.
That's right.
Wow. An Ivy Leaguer.
Too many smart people in that family.
Yeah, their family a bunch of smarty pants.
and then she has to deal with us on Saturday.
And then your brother graduated from Jesuit, correct?
Yes, sir. High
Yeah.
school and college graduates the same day. So we watched
Wow.
the high schoolers' graduation via YouTube.
And Maddie's a Mizzou graduate.
Yes, she is.
Yep. And she was there when they finally started getting back in the game playing good football.
We had a good team this past year.
Yeah, that family's just real smart. Yeah, you don't want to play like Trivia Pursuit with that family or game night. The Gomez's just destroy you.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
You're too kind.
Yeah, you could pick any of them and you're going to be on a winning team.
That's good.
So, it's good to have you back. We love you, Maddie, and glad you're at
Always
the, helm of the wheel.
100%. Thank you.
Makes me feel good. 214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190. Be sure to like and share the show. That way, if you have a family member or a friend or somebody on your Facebook list, someone's going to need a car or service soon. Now, I want to talk about a listener that called me on Monday. And here's what happens. She had a 2018 Ford Expedition. And she wanted to start traveling. She was heading to Midland to see grandkiddos.
Midland, Odessa.
So she took her vehicle over to a shop and she called me up and she said, Mr. Chase, I've been listening to your show for about 8 years. And I want to send this work order to you. And can you tell me what's going on? So I looked at the work order, and it was $4,700 in repairs that they said she needed for her vehicle.
How many miles did it have?
It only had 47,000
Oh,
miles on it.
wow.
So, and here again, not driving a vehicle, there can be age problems versus mileage problems. Garage kept, clean rig. She had her quilted blanket over the back seat.
Wow.
Nice rig. So she went to another place, and they came back at $4,100. I said, I tell you what, could you do something? I'll pay for your gas and time. She goes, I'd love to. I said, take it over to this shop. $3,900. And she goes, golly, Mr. Chase, there's a big difference. I says, okay, now I'm going to give you a name and number. She took it over to him. $1,722. We're at a $3,000 swing.
Yeah.
And so I said, do me a favor. Now give that person all 3 ROs, the previous places. And he called me and he was like, Kurt, what a joke.
Wow.
Let me tell you what, this thing is jammed up jelly tight as far as no leaks, no problems. It doesn't need this, or this. This thing is tired up good. She does not need new tires. And, they were telling her, well, if you're going to be driving here, and here, go ahead and put new tires on. The tires were at 80%. And so that's one of the things that we really like to help you with, because a lot of people, when you pull up to certain places, your car disappears, the guy comes back, and they have this cool little thing that has all these different fluids in it. And they say, well, your fluid looks like this one here. It should look like this here. Then they have all the yellow and green and red.
Yeah, they
little
send you
things
little
on it.
videos on your phone, and you can see what they're showing.
Some do.
Some do, yeah.
Some of them it's
Just a picture or
a
whatever.
blind deal. They just show up and go, hey, here's what we have. And then you've got to decide how much of that, if not all of it, needs to be done. And as we're going through some of the work orders, there were some that, the cars were not maintained, and they had some big old shop bills. There was no doubt about it. I looked at it and called a couple of my buddies and going, hey, Kurt, this car is rough. They have not maintained this automobile at all, any way, shape, form, or fashion. And I went through all the, diagnostics on it, and it was true. But there were so many people this last week that went to wherever, and they gave them this huge discount on the oil change, but then told them the upselling on it was terrible. It was just terrible. And I said, well, here's the deal. Take it over and ask for, and I have all the GM's names and numbers and calling them. And we were on 75% of them, we're 50% less. That's a lot of money. I mean, just think about it. $1,000 bill, it would have been $500. The one that was $4,800, we got down to $1,800. And
it's a lot of money.
Yeah, you just need to, when you look at your book, which a lot of people don't, every time we go to trade for cars, we open it up and there's dust all over the owner's manual.
Okay.
Just look at the maintenance on it and see what's required based on your driving habits. That's the kicker on the whole thing. Just because your car hit 5,000 miles doesn't mean the oil needs to be changed.
Well, a lot of newer cars, they take it about 10,000 miles.
Yeah. First break-in on my wife's Toyota, 10,000 miles. And so always take, and it's real simple. You check the oil with the car not running. You check the transmission fluid with the car running, if you can get to it. Some of these transmissions, there's no way to check it. It's a sealed transmission. But just
how do they check it?
You have to go take it to the shop, and the mechanic puts it up on a rack and checks it. I showed this one guy, says, here, let's pull your dipstick. And I took a piece of paper towel and we put on. I said, well, look, your oil is filthy. This is where the bigger problems start. Now, if you're not hitting this thing, I said, how many miles are on it? And he had 8,600 miles on, but he drives a lot. And even though it was a synthetic oil, the viscosity had changed completely. And I said, let's take a look at your radiator. We looked down in it, and it was probably 3/4 full, and the water was dirty. I said, that's going to be even a bigger problem for that automobile. So with that being said, here's the problems that you're going to run into. You're going to take this car, and you're going to have all this premature work that needs to be done on this vehicle. Prematurely, you're going to have to be doing it because you're putting excess wear and tear on because your fluids are not good. And we always call it LOF, lube, oiled, and filtered. Are your vehicles lubed up properly? Are they oiled properly? And are they filtered properly? And if you do those, remember that LOF, lube, oil, and filter. And it's an old school term, but it still holds true to this day. Is your car lubed up properly? Are your oils and your fluids clean? And are your filters clean?
People need to learn how to check their vehicles like pilots do their planes before they take off in them. They have a whole checklist. Check this, and every time before they take off, they check off all the things that they need to check off before they take off.
100%.
And if you do that with your vehicle, you're going to get a lot more life out of it and a lot more satisfaction and probably a lot less headache.
Yep. Let's take a quick break. When we get back, we are going to hit the interest rates here on the Automotive Edge Radio Show on 1190 KFXR, part of the iHeartMedia Network. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Don Cornelius says, love, peace, and soul. Soul. Yeah. Going in on the love train right here on the Automotive Edge Radio Show. here at live on at El Dorado Chevrolet here in McKinney, Texas. And if you are in the North Texas area, in the Metroplex, that's where you'll hear us on the radio at 1190 AM station, the iHeartMedia Network station. You can listen to us on the radio there, or you can listen to us on the radio by downloading the iHeartMedia app, and then search Talk Radio 1190 Dallas, and it'll take you to the little icon that shows you that. You click on that, and every Saturday morning you can hear us there. And the best way to really help us and also to follow us is on our live stream. And the main source of our live stream is on Facebook at the Automotive Edge Radio Show. You can dial into us there, or you can find us on our Shifting Gears Facebook page. Also, you can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/the Automotive Edge Radio Show. If you don't do Facebook or some of those social media sites like that, you can do YouTube, and then you can find it on Kurt Chase's LinkedIn page. And the best way to really help us while we're on a break in radio and you're tuned into our channel right now on Facebook is you'll see a little arrow at the top left-hand corner. It's a little white arrow. If you'll touch that, it'll take you out of being involved in the show, but you'll still see us. And then right down at the bottom left-hand corner, it says share. Well, first hit the like, and then hit share, and then it'll ask you to share again in like a blue box. Hit that, and then that goes to where everybody on your Facebook
Mr.
page.
Chase,
Yes.
office on hold.
Okay.
that can
Are
see
you
it.
satisfied the phones work today?
Oh.
We love you.
I told you I'm coming to give you a big hug, so hang on after the show, okay?
Okay, I'll wait about 4 hours for you.
Yeah, there you go. That's probably what it's going to take me. So yeah, I'll be there. But if I was closer, you'd certainly get it. And I'm giving you a big hug over the airways. Is that okay?
It was what Charlie Davis said. They say
It's okay.
if you take care of your car, vehicle will take care of you. That is true. And look, my brother from another mother, William Winfrey. Man, I miss that guy. I don't know why we don't hook up and just sit around and laugh a little bit, have a cold one.
He does have a question, though. He said, would you recommend changing transmission fluid? I had a 2008 Dodge Hemi, and AutoNation Dodge would never touch it. I tried at every recommend interval. Needless to say, I put 200K miles on it before I traded it in, and zero problems with it.
Yeah, here's the thing. With your transmission fluid, if you don't change it regularly, leave it alone. My buddy Kelly Olson, who's one of the greatest mechanics of all time, will tell you some of that goop and gunk that builds up actually helps the transmission. It doesn't hurt it at all. It keeps everything seated and working the way it is. But he said people that wait till 100,000 miles, 120, and then blow out their transmission, he would never recommend that. Because if you back up about 12 years ago, the big thing was flush out your transmission. Let's get your transmission flushed out. And everybody was doing it. And there was a lot of people that paid the price for doing it. And I remember all these companies that were all buying these flush systems, these machines to do it. And Kelly was one of the guys, and he ran this huge auto repair company. And he goes, if you're not doing it at the intervals, I think it was 30, 60, 90, and 120, said leave it alone. Just make sure that that it's full of fluid, but do not blow it out when you hit 100,000 or all of a sudden you go have this epiphany to go, let's blow out the transmission fluid. He said, would not do it.
We got a caller, don't we?
We do. Before we go to the caller, let's jump on one of the great sponsors, Classic Buick GMC Arlington, Jermaine Pearson, my guy. What a good, God-fearing car guy. And I put that together because I'm going to tell you what, that man is as spiritual as anybody I think I've met in the auto industry. And the way he operates outside the dealership is the way he operates inside the dealership. Love the guy. Love the way he does business. They're at Classic Buick GMC right there at Collins and 20. And, you know, my top pick and my top 5 picks for the year of 2025 is the new Buick Enclave. It is a home run for one of the best priced luxury SUVs in the marketplace today. And then it's going to come down to people. And that's Jermaine Pearson, Classic Buick GMC, Arlington. So if you go to classicarlington.com, it'll pull up, but Jermaine Pearson's the guy you want to see. He's the GSM there. And call, make the appointment, let him put you in. He's going to oversee all the numbers. He makes the final decisions anyway on what's going on. That's why David Lancaster, the GM, has him running that dealership. He is the man with the plan when it comes to your Buick GMC needs. Every time I see him, it is positive mojo. I'm telling you, it's as good as it gets. And, you know, when you're spending that kind of coin, you want the right people. It doesn't get any better than Classic Buick GMC. My buddy Jermaine Pearson. Go to classicarlington.com. Let's go to the Automotive Edge hotline. Joining us, our good friend Ralph Paul, the owner of your CBD store in Keller. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. Hey, I got to tell you, Ralph is my new lamb chop buddy.
I know y'all never invited me though, but that's okay. I keep hearing about it all the time.
Well, Ralph doesn't want you there.
I figured that. Somebody didn't want me. I ain't been invited.
Ralph and I order the same dinner when we go there, but he doesn't do the chimichurri sauce. I do. Best lamb chops in the world. And we get together. And let's talk about the best CBD product in the world. And that's your CBD store, Keller.com. SunMed is the maker of all the products. And right now, there's a lot of people that are really concerned with that knucklehead Dan Patrick saying all CBD is poison and it's bad, which we know is a full-blown false statement because you're helping so many people. And there's a lot of people kind of panicking, buying a whole lot right now from you, Ralph.
Absolutely. One particular gummy that your wife takes, we just got a shipment in the other day of 40 of them, and they were gone that day. So we got another shipment of 40 coming in. But, you know, it's kind of interesting because we even had a lady in the store yesterday who was crying. She said she just found us like 3 months ago, and everything is working so great for her, and she don't want it to end. So anyways, we'll see how it plays out. However, it's on the governor's desk right now. So if he vetoes it, then we're going to be starting all over again, which is to our advantage. However, if he does nothing, then it goes into law. However, I know there's several big companies that are going to have lawsuits, so it hopefully will drag on for a little while longer. But, you know, in the meantime, we're just here to help people. And, you know, again, you guys have seen such amazing stories of how it is helping people. And, you know, it's just been a real blessing.
No doubt about it. You know, we talk about, you know, the most expensive purchase in your life is your home, your second, your car. But what about your health? And without good health, the other two really don't matter. And that's why we're so glad to partner up with your CBD store, Keller.com. They ship for free. They are a brick and mortar there on Main Street in Keller. But you can go online to your CBD store, Keller.com. That's Keller. And look at the products. Call, talk to Ralph, talk to Carol, talk to Chrissy, talk to Hannah, talk to the whole crew there to find out what you're putting in your body. And there's QR codes and all the detailed information because there are CBD companies. Then there's your CBD store. And like you said, Ralph, there's been many, many times where Bo and I were in your store or I come in your store and the testimonies, you know that you're doing the right thing with the right product.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's just been a rewarding experience. So today, our staff is at a conference at our church. And so today, anybody that comes in, they'll be greeted by myself and my wife and my daughter. So the heads of state will be here today all day, and we would love to meet you or give us a call. We ship for free.
Well, I came in the other day and picked up an order for a buddy of mine, And although I know he was home and I left it on his porch because I drove back by there a few minutes later and
It
it was
was
no
gone.
longer on his porch.
Did he
And
leave,
he'd answer. That's because he
did
wanted
he
me to
leave
pay
you a
for it.
check on the porch?
He didn't leave me a dime.
He's like those guys that won't answer the door.
And
to
Ralph goes, "Is he paying you back?" And I said, "I'm going to hold my breath on that one." But you know what? He called me and his wife called and said, "That is amazing what we consumed and what it did right off the bat." And that's no big surprise to you because you hear that day in, day out. And I love it when I was in there the other day, you had 3 new customers all walk in the door and the information that they had, I can't wait to hear what the follow-up's going to be. But you hear so many times where people just come in and it's a wow factor for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, CBD is not medication, so with a lot of individuals, it might take a week or two in order to really take major effect. But what we hear a lot of is I ran out a couple days ago and I forgot how good I was feeling. So it's almost subliminal, and there's small, gradual things. I'd love to tell you my testimony. Again, I'm going to be 70 here in a couple weeks, and I've been on blood pressure medicine for 40 years. I'm taking half of what I used to, and my blood pressure is below normal. In my 50s, they always want to give me cholesterol medicine. Now my numbers are normal. So, what it's doing, put everything in balance in your system. And, again, we are concerned if this all goes away because we all take the products. My daughter, my son-in-law, my wife, our staff's parents. And so there's some great concern as far as being able to get our products in the near future. So,
yeah, if you go to the website, yourcbdstorekeller.com, you'll see a way to get in contact with John Corning and the senators and to let them know that you're an advocate for a good quality product that's doing good, great quality things at your CBD store, Keller.com. Ralph, we're going to break. I'll be talking about you again here in the next hour. Have a big day, and we'll see you after the show.
You got it, gentlemen. Thanks for everything, and we'll be talking to you.
You bet. That's your CBD store.
I love lamb chops.
Well, we'll see.
The table only holds 4.
Okay, I get it.
All right, let's take a quick break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. I'm telling you, they're like little beat.
I've heard about it enough
lollipops.
already. Okay,
2 bites.
Yeah, every time y'all get around me, that's all I
You
hear.
pick up the bone. You
I
get
get
2
it.
bites out of it.
I get it. I'm going by myself, and I'm gonna call you
Meat
from the
candy.
place. Hey, guess where I'm at?
I don't care.
I'm gonna do a live remote there.
I don't care.
You big old lamb chop eaters.
It was funny. We were in there the other day, and the GM thought I was staring him down. There was a table, these 3 guys, and they were just cursing up a storm.
Really?
We're in a really nice steakhouse.
All right.
And he kept using the F word, and finally I just hit the wall. So Melinda goes to the ladies' room. I walk over and say, "Look, guys, I'm trying to have dinner with my wife, and your mouths are out of hand."
Right.
And the guy goes, "Okay." And I said, "Let me buy y'all a round of drinks, whatever we got to do, but y'all need to tone down that language while I'm trying to enjoy my night with my wife." And he goes, he kind of looked at the 2 of them. I said, "Look, I understand there's only 3 of you." And he goes, "Only?" I said, "Yeah, there's only 3 of you. You're going to get it first, and the other 2 aren't going to like what they see. Can I buy you a drink?" And so the GM, he came up and he goes, "What happened?" I said, "I got it." And I told him what had happened, and he goes, "You can let me know." And I said, "Well, there's no need to make a scene or anything. I just, golly,
Figured you'd take care of it.
always, I can't handle when people talk like that around my wife. If it was me and my brothers, I'll kind of let things slide a little bit. But when my wife or there's a lady present, I'm not going to tolerate
Well,
it.
they shouldn't be talking that way, period. Not in an open public place like a restaurant. I mean, if you want to be out there, at a bar, or you want to be out fishing with your buddies and you want to sling that language around, which I can't stand anyway, more power to you. But
Well, I'll shoot a warning over the bow, and the next one is going to be a direct hit.
Yeah.
And the guy goes,
blame
it happened at another place, and the guy goes, "Well, there's 4 of us." And now there's not. There's just one.
only takes one to get to send the
And
message.
he goes,
out.
"How do you figure?" I said, "Because you seem to be the big mouth at the table. You're going to get it first. Can I buy y'all a round of drinks?" And they started laughing. He goes, "Heck yeah, you can buy us a drink." I said, "But here's the teaser. You got to tone it down.
I just send Purple Haze over.
Yeah, I just have some couth about.
That usually gets their attention real quick. Like, what?
When there's a lady present, respect the fact that there's a lady present.
They shouldn't
And
be.
I don't negotiate.
I get what you're saying. They should not do it in a public restaurant, period. It's anywhere. I don't care if it's a McDonald's. I don't care where it is. That is, to me, it's the same principle as somebody pulling up next to me at a stoplight and they got that rumbling music going that shakes the whole ground and nobody likes it except the guy's just being an a-hole.
Well, I always
And
say,
so
leave it
there's-
at the house.
Dude, stop it. There's no reason for it.
I don't care how big a boy you are or how many there are. I'm going to say something. And he goes, we could have moved you. So we're not moving us. They need to tone it down.
Move there.
I have a very short fuse when it comes to respect around my wife.
I know one thing. If I was a restaurant owner, I'd ask them to leave if they couldn't tone it down.
You know what he told me the week before? There was a group of 12 people, and he said they were so rowdy. He walked up and goes, "Look, folks, we love having y'all here, but we got to tone it down."
Yeah.
And the guy goes, "And if we don't," he goes, "Well, then you're gonna
You're
cash out right now." And he goes, "I don't think so." And he goes, he went over to the waiter. He goes, "Give him the check." He goes, "This meal's over." And he goes, "Pack up all their food." And the guy goes, "You can't do this." Well, matter of fact, I can.
Yes, he can,
and, he booted every one of them. I'm like, good for you.
Well, that's what they need. And, I don't know why we've gotten to the place in our society that we have to deal with that nonsense. I mean, just such disrespect and non-caring and narcissistic attitudes and all that crap. It's frustrating. And that's why people go postal because they get tired of that.
I was at a barbecue joint. I walked up to the bar and I told the guy, I says, "Hey, can we kind of tone down this language?" And he goes, "And if I don't?" I said, "Well, I'm just going to ask you one. So you have a good day, but I sure appreciate it if you tone that down." I said, "Hey, whatever he's drinking, let me buy him one, but I want this toned down." And I walked away, and we didn't hear it a whole lot, and none of that concerned me. Not because I'm a tough guy, I like to get into fights. None of that is just not true.
Now that last part's not true.
It is
about not wanting to get into fights.
Respect women.
Yeah,
I don't
got
like
stories
to get into fights.
Not anymore. Not after the last Windstar visit.
Well, I don't like. Well, it wasn't at Windstar. I can say a Windstar. It was in Oklahoma, but it wasn't at Windstar. But that was different.
Yeah, you're talking about in public fighting or getting in altercations
golly, look around you. If you got a potty mouth, look around you.
Well, the potty mouth is ridiculous anyway, but then when you bring it in public, that's just crazy.
My wife is sacred. I don't negotiate.
Well, my spirit's sacred, so I don't like it either.
Yeah, I'm just a different cat when it comes to that. I'm blessed. My boys are so well mannered, very polite, and they honor their mother, and I do too. Something I've never played with, especially my mom. I remember the first time. There's 5 brothers, and the first time this guy popped off to my mom, I was like, "You have just lost your mind."
Trouble's about to come your way, brother.
And he called my mom a female dog and said, "You bring your biggest boy with you." I was like, "Is this guy?" Yeah. God rest his soul, Leo. That was the worst day of his life. I mean, mamas are sacred.
And Dorothy says, "I don't get why people have to be so rude out in the world." Well, it's just there's something about how they feel powerful by being able to sling that stuff around, show their muscles. Like, what are you going to do about it?
And I cringe when they use the Lord's name in vain. I'm like, do you realize what you just said, knucklehead?
That's the worst. Well, if they're dropping F-bombs, the GDs are usually right behind it.
When are we coming back on?
I think we may be back on. I think we're back on.
Are we back on?
Maddie?
Yes, we're back on.
Oh, we got a different voice, Maddie.
Hey, I was gonna say, Maddie.
Well, we're over here just talking away with all kinds of stuff, and this is actually an automotive show. Even though you may not
we blew
think
it on
so.
the intro. We're just in having a grand old conversation. We didn't know we were
Thanks for joining
back
in
on.
here on our Automotive Edge radio show.
Wow!
As we get off on the dirty language in restaurants.
That's right. Don't cuss in public.
Yeah.
Bottom line. We just added that to the radio show.
Exactly.
Did you hear anybody say we're back on?
No, I
Did you hear
heard
music?
no. We didn't hear nothing. We were just on. Just like hocus
They're back
pocus.
here with their feet up having lattes back in
Yeah,
the studio.
they're probably-
They're letting us ramble
When
on.
you said I'll buy you a drink, they took it seriously.
Okay. Well, hey, here's what we're going to do at the top of the hour. I'm going to put this right in front of me on interest rates, and we're going to cover that on what you should expect or what maybe you didn't know that you can now expect when you go to the dealership to figure out interest rates on your automobile. There are so many people that we have made happy. I got to tell you, I got me some German chocolate cupcakes.
It's cool.
And I was at a dealership and they were there. And she goes, I was going to leave this at the dealership and tell them to get them to you, but here. And I shared them with all the salespeople. Some of the best German chocolate cake is my favorite.
Right.
And I don't know how she knew that, but they went nuts over the cupcakes. These were homemade with love.
The fact that you say that every week on the radio is probably not a reason why she wouldn't know it.
My goodness, best cupcake I ever had in my life. I love that place called Simply Bunt or Nothing Bunt.
Right.
And they're bunt cakes, but boy, this lady right here, she blows Betty Crocker away.
Well, there you go.
So anyway, we're going to be covering interest rates and what you should know going into it. There's a lot of people that settle for wherever on assumption, and we're going to have you assume something a little bit different. We're going to pull the curtains back a little bit on the F&I, and then we're going to talk about what long-term financing, the effects of that are going to be. And then also coming up, EV versus hybrid, what's going on with the EV market? What are the new releases looking like? What's coming down the pipeline? And then we got Q&A coming up here on the Automotive Edge radio show. But if you got something you want to talk about, I didn't know that we were live. We're just having a grand old time here. Phone lines are open, 214-787-11. They're actually working today. 214-787-1190. That's 214-787-1190. So if there's, you want to know where to go, who to see, what to do, makes, models, any of that information, we want to make sure that you're taken care of.
No charge.
And remember,
It's a commercial.
when you go to the website, if there's not a sponsor on there for the brand you're looking for, it doesn't matter. We know somebody that can help you. 214-787-1190. Quick break. We will know when we're coming back on live here shortly on the Automotive Ed Radio
Right.
Show on 1190 KFXR, part of the iHeartMedia Network. We'll be right back. Okay, we'll be right back.
We'll see.
We'll be right back.
I'm sure we're off the air, maybe. Thanks, everybody, for being a part of our broadcast today here on the Automotive Edge Radio Show. Again, we'd hope that on our live streams that you would share it on our social media sites. That little white arrow at the top left-hand corner, hit that, and you'll still see us on your timeline, but that's just you seeing us. And if you'll hit like and then hit share right underneath that, and then it'll ask you to share again, that's then where people can see us on your timeline. And we're just trying to help. They don't want to tune in. We get it. You know, like they know it all or whatever. That's fine. A lot of people know a lot of things.
You know it all.
Yeah, I know it all. And then
Did your mom ever tell you you're a know-it-all?
No, you just
think you're a know-it-all?
She just said I just talk too much. When are you going to shut up?
That was my dad. He goes, does Kurt ever shut up?
And, you know, it went into my son. The DNA attached to him, and he used to be a big talker and still is. And in
I remember when that young turkey was on your show. Yes. No. You didn't say.
I gave you a heads up and I played
no,
the music.
No, you did not.
We didn't hear it.
We didn't hear nothing.
I'm sorry.
We didn't
guess
know that
I'll
we were
troubleshoot
just
and
going
figure
off
out for
air
next
because
time.
we didn't hear the music either going out.
coming or going.
Y'all,
Interesting. I will see if the board is missing a light.
yeah, because we're not hearing anything.
Well, we didn't
Thank
hear
you for letting me
music.
know.
Yeah, we just heard some dude's voice, and I was like, "Wow, Maddie's voice just
Maddie's-
changed." We don't even know who is that.
She's
That
getting.
is Larry. Be kind. I'm training him.
He's getting.
Wow, did you just hear that? That's Larry. Be kind.
Yeah, she's talking to you, not
Are
me.
we not kind to Larry?
She's talking to you, not
You just
me.
said some dude.
Okay, well, I just heard a dude's voice. I didn't know who it was. I didn't know
I
if
see.
you
Sense some
dude.
attitude.
I don't know if you had your boyfriend in there, or
Are you working
Nobody's here.
you
except for
brought a
Larry.
buddy to work day, or I don't know what's going on.
on? Try to
Maddie.
do Van Colts' voice. We
Yeah,
didn't
you did
know.
one of those sound adjustments on your voice. We don't know. We're just a couple
Wouldn't
of
that be
guys
funny if I
jacking
did
on the
that one
radio.
day?
Yeah,
great.
it would be awesome.
Did one of those AI voices.
Hello, this is Maddie.
So Larry's in studio. Did you know that?
Hi, Larry.
I got a brother named Larry.
Well, Maddie should have introduced him to us. So we
Yeah, way to
know.
go, Maddie. That's all on you. That's not on us because I said you got some dude in there. That's what we're going to call him now, dude. We won't call him Larry. We'll just call him dude. Hey, dude.
Thanks, dude, for being with
Is that okay, Larry? Can we call you dude?
He's distant us already.
Larry wants
We ain't
nothing
gonna-
to do with it.
We're not going
now.
to have much chance with him when Maddie's out. We're already sunk.
Larry must not have a sense of humor.
Well, he ain't getting us, I can tell
He's
you.
not
that.
even responding to us.
Don't blame him. Oh, boy.
He's going to go to upper management and go, look, I can't deal with
All
these
right,
two.
half of the show and he's already gone.
He gone. Larry gone.
Larry, we're just picking at you. I understand that.
Oh, Larry knows that. Well,
Larry doesn't even want to know.
dude.
Oh boy, this is a fun day here at the Saturday show at El Dorado Chevrolet live in.
Well, they
on
just
location.
surprised us with somebody in studio, and we don't even know somebody in studio.
Well, we'll see what the next voice is going to be.
They're just two voices.
Yeah,
What does he
Is
say?
that in your-
surprise? Surprise!
is that in your
surprise.
head or in reality?
So is Larry mic'd up?
He can hear you, yes.
So how come he's not talking? We just heard a voice earlier. Can he not talk anymore?
Because I went to the bathroom and he was kind enough to take you to break.
Oh, so he can't talk anymore? You're not going to let him say anything?
He can say stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you guys were saying
Okay,
earlier.
okay,
Sorry.
Larry. So since we didn't know, and I said, "Who's the dude in the studio?" Now you have a new nickname, Dude. Do you have a problem with that?
Yeah, I like that. We can go with the dude.
Okay, Dude. There we go. Larry's Dude.
Well, that's better than the dudette, right?
Right. Definitely. is.
Well, we didn't know, so Larry, glad you're part of us today.
That's right.
And we always bring, you be ready to speak because we're always asking questions. So make sure that you know that.
Well, we know who the boss is, man. He is to the nine. Look at this guy.
He's checking over what I
Oh
drive.
yeah.
We can't have you with a jacket on our show. I'm sorry. You're overdressed for this show. Yeah.
So Arlington is where you were born. Yeah, good job. We did that years ago, and what a great. Mine said Brooklyn on there, but really, you don't sound like you're. I was born in Brooklyn, New York. You
What?
didn't know that?
Why didn't you put some really Fairfield, Alaska?
I've almost lived outside of Arlington longer than I have.
Okay.
When that
Oh.
happens, I'll change.
Whoa! You're not greased up. Your tips. What's up?
Well, they're a little shorter, aren't they?
Yeah, he trimmed it.
Are you going to join us now? Here, take this.
I gotta-
Find another chair. Yeah. And we're doing a little furniture rearranging here on the broadcast. So give us a minute to get situated. It'll be number 10 in about 2 months. Just give him a couple months. Yeah, all right. Sit in the middle. I get it. I get this.
30 seconds.
All right. 30 seconds. We're back on.
Lady Love.
Let's see what we got here.
And they hot roast me too.
Let's see what we got. Check it out.
All right, you got me.
You sound how? What'd you say? You got it?
Yeah, I believe I have it.
Yeah, you good?
Yeah, we got a little music going. Oh, I see me. I see Kurt. You need to come over.
We're on the move.
I look great. Kurt is not.
We don't
Huh?
need to know how you look. We already know.
I'm cooking on peanut
It's
oil
cooking.
now.
All right.
214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190. If it's a Kia, it's classic Kia Carrollton. My buddy Jesse Hull, new general manager Alan Glover, rocking and rolling over Classic Kia. If it's a Kia, head to 35 and 121. Stop in and see the great folks there at Classic Kia Carrollton. The all-new Sportage, the new K4, K5. Boy, the Kia Soul. The new Telluride, their EV9s are on the way. EV6 is on the showroom floor. And then it comes down to the people. And it doesn't get any better when it comes to your Kia needs in Classic Kia Carrollton. Jesse Hull, Alan Glover, and the staff taking care of your Kia needs. For all the specials, and there's a bunch of them, go to ClassicKiaCarrollton.com. That's ClassicKiaCarrollton.com. Boy, you smell good.
Well, thank you.
Wow, what is that?
That is soap.
That works wonders. Man.
It does. I'll be.
It's amazing what a little soap will do for you.
Well, I'm glad he decided to shower before he came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to remember what it's called. Marley, it's something Marley. My wife.
Bob?
Not Bob.
Scent of Bob Marley.
No, it is. I can't remember. Perfume de I'm not.
Perfumo.
Hey, she liked the way it smelled. She
Oh,
got it
she's
for
got
me.
it.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'll throw it on.
She did good. You smell good. I've got it.
We're
You
just
smell
lost.
Good, dude.
We have a little pause in the show here
Jason
because we're all
Lang,
brain dead.
General Sales Manager here, El Dorado Chevrolet. This segment, we're going to be talking about interest rates. You got to grab that. All right.
Yes, sir.
A lot of times, people look at their credit scores, and I want to clear this out. Your credit score isn't the one-all end-all to the interest rate. And the thing about it is, you need to know what your score is. If you go to Equifax or Experian, pay the fee. It's like $20 a month. It's the best thing you can do because that's what the dealers are going to pull. When you're buying a home, they pull something completely different. When you're doing buying a car, 99% go off of Equifax and Experian. TransUnion, not so much. And look at your score and monitor it. I bought a truck, man, it was hit immediately. The second they pulled my bureau, I was alerted and I logged in, and there was 2 companies that wanted my business. And so they pulled my bureau. And I took a look at it, and I know what my score is every day. I know if somebody goes in and tries to use my social security number, we monitor this all the time. And I keep up with my scores, my wife's scores. I talk to my kids, are you monitoring your credit? Have you taken a look at it lately? And I always keep that reminder because, you know, this internet theft with stealing your social security and people going out and buying stuff and stealing your credit cards, you need to see this so you can alert the bank or whomever. On mine, I have my credit bureau locked. So when I came over to buy the new vehicle, I unlock it on the spot. They pull the bureau, and then I locked it again. And so there was no more inquiries on there. And they said, well, hey, so-and-so's trying to look at your bureau. I unlocked it. They took a look, and then I locked it again. And so let's run down the list of where you think you are, where you might be, and what you can kind of look forward to. They call it super prime, and it's 781 to 850, and you don't see a lot of these. But the average APR on a new car is 4.7%, 477 on prime, on super prime. On prime, now get this, prime has changed quite a bit. It's now 661 to 780, where prime used to be 720 and above, super prime 785 and above. And then you have subprime 501 to 600, and then deep subprime 300 to 500. So
so basically 4 stages.
5.
So
you
what
have
was
super
okay.
prime, prime, non-prime, subprime, deep subprime.
So would you run across them again to what the top one is?
Yeah, the top one is subprime 781 to 850, average APR 4.77%.
Then the next,
Prime is 661 to 7.
so the second one is prime
Prime
661 to what?
780, 6.4%. Non-prime 601 to 660, 9.59. Subprime 501 to 600, 13%, and then deep subprime 15% to 21%. Here's the thing. That they pass going, no more medical stuff on your bureau. It's not going to count against you, blah, blah, blah. Well, there's some things that can really mess up your credit and cause, especially if you don't have a bunch of lines of credit. If you only have a few lines of credit and you mess those up, it can drop your score hundreds of points. There's people that have very few lines of credit, and let's say you charge off a phone bill, it can devastate your credit. Even though the bill was $100, it doesn't matter. It goes by your open lines of credit, your active rolls, and your debt to ratio on your income. But here's the kicker. There are a lot of people, because of COVID, that their credit was just devastated. I mean, devastated. I look at bureaus all the time. People go online. They send me their credit bureaus over and go, what can you do for me? And a lot of times it's not anywhere near as bad as what they think. And I said, well, hang on just a second here. Your credit scores are prior to, with all these medical charge-offs that you had, because they made their mortgage, they made their car payment, they turned on, kept the electricity on, and kept food in the refrigerator. Everybody was doing that. And if you don't think for a minute that the banks know that, then now you know. Don't walk into a dealership and go, look, I have terrible credit. What can you do for me? That's the worst thing you can do.
Well, the other thing that's worse too is not know what it is. I mean, and that's another thing Kurt can help you with. Know the whole concept of the mantra is know before you go. You need to know that credit rating that you have. That way that you get put in a position, you don't get put in a position of really kind of getting taken care of because you know.
Well, I would just tell you this. As a salesperson, when I would say somebody was buying a car and I'm going, do you know what your credit's, how your credit is? And they said, we have no idea. I'm like,
that's rough, isn't it?
You know whether you pay your bills or not. Bottom line, the only exception to the rule is when maybe you've co-signed for somebody and you don't see how bad it is and you're not getting notified from the bank because all the paperwork is going to their home. I had a gentleman, their kiddo had ran up a bunch of credit cards and mom and dad co-signed, but all the mail was going to the kiddo, and the dad came in and his score went from perfect to a 550. And he goes, well, I want this car for me and I want this for my wife.
It could also be -1 kid.
We'll get this. So we wrote everything up, and then we pulled his bureau, and he was 551 and the wife was 560. And I went, buddy, we got a problem. He goes, what are you talking about? And this guy made $27,000 a month. His wife made $15,000 a month. And I'm going, he goes, time out. Here's your bureaus. And he's looking at it. He goes, what is that to? I said, you co-signed all this. And he goes, I'll be back. It was ugly.
Well, and I think there's a little bit of the other part of this. We use auto enhanced credit bureaus too,
right?
So for those of you out there that don't know what that means that the bureau weighs more on your auto history than it does on other things,
right?
Oh, really?
And now, especially with the law on the medical bills,
I love that. I think that the new law with having the credit bills not affect credit rating.
Mhm.
I mean, definitely, you got to think. I was thinking about that to myself. Folks go to the hospital. That's not a planned debt. They didn't plan on having
Yeah,
that.
nobody
big a
plans
debt.
on getting sick.
No, nobody plans
Well,
on getting
let-
I'm going to
sick.
be sick next
Well,
week.
let's go
and to
back.
the hospital.
Let's go back to COVID. That if you went to the hospital, they never wouldn't even let you out.
Right,
So you
right.
couldn't even get out on your own. They locked you down, and so
Yeah,
people
tube
got-
down your throat.
Yeah.
Let's put a bunch of medicine in your body.
so people had to take stuff they didn't really want to take, and then got billed for it.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, and you pretty much took it because you didn't know
Correct.
what was going to fix you or what wasn't going to fix you. They were trying it out.
Yeah.
So what the mom and dad did is they went and they paid off all the debt, took the cards away from the kid, contacted the lender and said, we want everything coming here on the car note. They didn't. And the next month they came in and both the scores were way up and they're able to get their automobiles. Those situations happen when they go, my credit's fine, and then realize it's not fine because of co-signing. And I always tell the parents, there's a deal. If you're going to co-sign, which when our boys hit 18, we co-signed, or we put them on our notes, but the bills came to us and we paid the bills. And I tell the parents, then you collect the money from your kiddo or however you set it up, but don't allow them to do whatever. And then you not realize it because you're not on top of your game and you're making all this money and a good living and turn around and realize you can't afford to pay attention, much less a car note. And it's just a bad thing. But here's the thing also. And Jason Long joining us, General Sales Manager here at Eldorado Chevrolet. You've seen it, and I've seen it many, many times where people come in and say, you pull their bureau and you go back in what's going on, and they have all the documentation and everything they need, especially when COVID hit and all the layoffs and people got behind, that they're back on their job. Their mortgage stayed good. They made their car payment. They had all these different things happen. The banks love those car deals.
Oh, absolutely they do. And that's the other part. If there's something that we can talk to the bank with too, that's half of our job. One half of our job is finding the right vehicle for someone else. The other half we do is we talk to
1
banks. And if there's something there that we can help out with, lack of a better word, story, right? If there's a story behind the problem, and we can explain it to a bank and help a customer,
and they can back it up,
and we can help them get a better rate, then we're all for it. That's one of the best
30
things.
seconds.
We got a quick break. Major Maddie is yelling at us, 214-787-1190. That's 214-787-1190. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
We'd like to thank Jason Loing for making us look bad today. He's overdressed and we're underdressed, so we have to bow down to the
jacket.
To the jacket.
You can wear a sports jacket with jeans.
You look so. Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to do it today.
No, maybe not today.
Everybody.
Well, I like
great song.
I like your mustache a little better.
You like it a little better?
Yeah.
You can have it.
I could probably do one. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I.
I don't
could.
think you would look good with a bigger mustache. I think you would.
You think? I'll give it a shot. Then.
I don't know.
Coming here with the big long thing like
this
the
music
Longhorns.
puts me in such a happy place.
I have a big nose, so I can pull off a big mustache. That's the key to it.
It help. Does it? You think it helps make your nose look smaller?
I hope.
No, you don't have that big a nose.
No. I know.
You don't have that. Well, this, I can't. I don't know how these guys get these long beards.
Oh, I couldn't do it.
I just go, and
So-
it just drives me nuts to think. And how they do it, I have no idea.
Speaking of COVID, if we remember back, you couldn't get a haircut for a while.
I know you couldn't do a lot of things.
And so I didn't get a haircut for a while. And I didn't realize how fast, you don't realize how fast your hair goes.
Till you when you need it.
No, and this stuff was in my eyes. Like my
Oh,
hair was in
wow.
my eyes. And I remember trying to sleep and that stuff, the hair's just going everywhere. And I'm like, there's no way that. So going back to having a foot long beard, how would you sleep? How do you eat?
It drives me nuts to even get. Like right now, I feel like I need a little trim up, and it's just because I feel these little hairs that are a little longer than the other,
Okay.
and it drives me nuts. And it's just psychological more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I could never make like a ZZ Top beard or
No.
like Phil Robinson's beard.
Yeah.
rest in peace, by the way, just passed away. What a great gentleman.
Who?
Phil Robertson.
Oh, yeah.
Duck Dynasty.
Yeah.
You know, if you go back and you look, he played at Louisiana Tech with Terry Bradshaw.
Well, he was before Terry.
Yeah, and they rated him higher than Bradshaw going in the NFL and play football. And, you hear the stories. I was listening one the other day, and the coach like, where the heck is Robinson? He comes in with 2 ducks. And he goes, what is he doing? He said he's out hunting. He goes, why'd he bring the ducks in the locker room? He said, because he's going to eat them.
Yeah.
He doesn't kill anything that he doesn't
Right.
eat. Yep. And so he goes, are you kidding? He goes, no, he'll make a fire out back and cook them ducks up.
For the game. Well, also, I knew the guy that followed Terry Bradshaw, Denny Duran. Used to travel on the road playing Christian music, and his father pastored the church, and he was the youth pastor there, and he was the quarterback for Louisiana Tech after Terry Bradshaw. Denny Duran.
Terry Bradshaw had a little ranch, a small one, about 10 minutes from my house. And it was
just recently went for sale, didn't it? Or
well, they leveled the whole thing, and then they built it.
Community.
Yeah, they put in this deal, and it was the B12 Ranch, Bradshaw number 12.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And my eye doctor was fixing to close the doors in Keller, and Terry Bradshaw come in and said, hey, I lost all my sunglasses. I need this, and this. Can you help me out? And so Dr. Neal sold him his glasses. He goes, I'll tell you what, go ahead and book me an appointment. I need to get my eyes checked, blah, blah, blah. And started telling everybody and resurrected his eye business.
Wow, that's cool.
And became very, very good friends. And I listened to Bradshaw talk about Phil Robertson and what a great tribute he gave to that man.
No doubt.
I mean, his stories and the way he spoke were the best. And they there was one group that went after him all the time, but man, he'd tell you, he'd go Bible on you, and what a better way to go. And what he'd tell them before he died: don't cry, don't weep, don't be upset. Y'all need to be celebrating, because guess what? This body's been renewed, and I'm somewhere in a much better place. And I just love listening to that man talk.
Well, I do believe he is.
And his common sense talk to his kids and grandkids was the best.
What was the uncle's name?
Cy.
He's a kicker, isn't he?
And now they have the new Duck Dynasty series coming out.
Oh, okay.
It's back to Duck Dynasty, and everybody's grown up, married. His Willie's daughter Sadie is preaching all over the United States.
Yeah, there are a lot of them in the ministry. Yeah.
Yep.
Good for them.
They said that company, once everything got kicked off, jumped from a few million over a $400 million company in a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Me and Bo are going to do Possum Dynasty.
I like that idea. Possum hunting. We're going to play possum to get the possum.
Yeah. Exactly.
Is this like the greatest music in the world? It is.
Who did the song Just Playing Possum?
214-787-1190. This segment show brought to you by Highly Accurate Fort Worth. My buddy David Gomez, general manager, managing partner. If you're looking for sport luxury at its best in that line of vehicles, you have the ADX, the MDX, the RDX, the ZDX, and the Integra. And a buddy of mine has a manual Integra, and he just loves shifting gears. He had no idea the horsepower that thing would do. He's already got 2 tickets, and he don't care. He is enjoying life. And I met a lady the other day at an event, and she was so proud and took me out and showed me her silver MDX, and was talking about how great they were and deemed back in service. If it comes to your luxury brand of product, the place, Riverside and 820, right there in Fort Worth, right there on the corner of 35 and 820. It is Highly Accurate of Fort Worth. See my buddy David Gomez. Let him know you're listening to the Automotive Edge radio show, and enjoy the Acura experience, where your time is highly favored, highly appreciated, and highly respected. Highly Accurate Fort Worth.com.
And they're highly competitive.
That's right. Joining us, General Sales Manager, Eldorado Chevrolet, 9-time Chevy Dealer of the Year. And actually, Jason invited me to the luncheon, and I couldn't make it. Did you get your invite?
Yeah, I couldn't make it either.
That's not true. That is not true. So for people that are on the bubble, and a lot of times I think that, and you made a great point before we went to break, is that a lot of people don't understand how credit works once they pull it, and then the relationship that your finance department has with the lenders. And I'll give you a great example. They gave me an interest rate here. I went back to the finance department and the rate dropped dramatically on my term because they look at credit and there's banks going, I call it looking deep into the paper, going, hang on a second, we really have a car deal here. And then the affirmation from the finance people, and then to the point where a lot of people say this, and this. If you're going to say that, be able to back it up. Don't just say, well, this happened or that happened. When the bank can see that and they see a good story and they see stability, you're not a 17% candidate.
Correct. And the other part of it is we know who's hot and who's not, and it changes every month. So, and what I mean by that is certain lenders are more aggressive throughout the year than other lenders, and they compete, and
well, they have a portfolio,
and they do,
and they have to keep that thing rolling and turning paper.
Yep, they do, and so we kind of see those patterns, work through those patterns, talk to buyers, and work to get the best rate. Because at the end of the day, the cheaper rate we can get you, the cheapest rate we can get you, is going to lower the payment, which helps achieve what we're all trying to do.
Right.
And having a great relationship with these banks, explaining to them some customer needs, and if we have a good history of explaining these things and doing things with banks, and they make considerations for us, they'll keep doing that as long as we don't burn them, and at any point in time. And we have a very good history that we work hand in hand with the sales department, right? The finance department. We've got our sales director right behind our sales desk, and
he looks at every deal and he knows where to do it, where to take that contract to. You don't need 20 inquiries on your bureau. No. He's a smart guy back there to go, these two banks are really going to be hot and heavy to buy this car deal.
Correct. Yeah. Finance is a lot like it's a sniper versus a shotgun. You don't want to just send everything around. You need to be very specific on who you send it to. There are still look to book banks, out there.
Well, we had a couple that bought an Equinox from you last month, and he said your rate was 3 points better, and the price was $1,000 better, and all the salesman could talk about was, well, once this is over, then you'll get a fresh start. I'm like, what made you even say that to a customer going, this is going to be really bad. It's going to hurt. We're going to tell you right now, we're not using Novocaine or painkiller. This is going to hurt. But 5 years from now, come back and see me. Why there was that mindset?
I don't know.
And so they didn't say anything to the salesperson about where they've been, what they've done. And so I got the phone call going, you're not going to believe this. I went to a dealership and they gave me this rate. I went to another dealership and they gave me this rate, and it was $1,000 better deal. I said, well, you got to be happy. She said, in the doom and gloom leading into it, and she told me what the salesperson said, you've got to be kidding me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, bad things happen to good people. Mm-hmm. No doubt about it. And when you can put that to the lender, and I always tell people, good job time and good residency makes up for hiccups in your credit.
Yeah, absolutely. Stability is definitely one part. A score, it doesn't say it all. It's history, ability, stability, length in the credit bureau. All those things come together to form out what that is. And unfortunately, risk and rate go hand in hand. But if there's ways that we can lower the risk for the bank, in other words, if we can discount the vehicle, say $13,000 off Silverado.
Yeah.
If you can discount the vehicle enough, it lowers risk, and again lowers rate.
That's right.
And we just want to make sure that you know what your rate is, what your where you stand.
Yeah,
your credit rating. You need to know that so that you don't go around just out there willy-nilly. It's really important for you to know before you go. That way you can feel more comfortable with somebody's feeding you.
Yeah, and I'm not saying go to every dealership and have your credit pulled. Don't do that.
No, do that. No, I'm not saying that.
Well, here's the thing.
Don't get your credit pulled until you find the car you want.
Yeah, you go over to Joe Bagadona Chevrolet, and they send it out to 4 lenders. And you go to Joe Bag of Donut
Oh,
2 Chevrolet, they pull it, and then you come over here to El Dorado. Guess what? Those calls that the banks made, they have to do play by the same song sheet here at El Dorado.
Yeah, I'll elaborate on that.
Unless you change vehicles.
So, yeah, if you get a hold of the wrong place and they don't talk to the lenders and they don't explain the situations, and all they do is just send it over to a bank and go, okay, well, that's what it is. And then we try to do something better. In other words, if we try to get on the phone, we get the same structure and we try to set up the car deal, they're just going to give us the same approval.
Right.
Because they're not allowed to play favorites.
Right. So if one dealer's selling 500, the other one's selling 200, and the deal's structured one way, the other dealer's going to have to sing off the same song sheet.
Correct. And that's okay. And I understand that for fairness, but yeah, if don't get your credit pulled just for test driving. Don't do that.
Right.
Only get your credit pulled when you're ready. When you're ready to buy a car, then pull your credit. I'm with Kurt. You know, I think most people know an idea of what their credit score rating is. You know, and I think that every dealership should be able to work a car deal just based off of that information. Hey, you know, I believe my score is X. Okay, great. I'll work a car deal based off of X.
Well, also don't assume that you can't get a good rate because of what you think you're at with your rating.
Correct.
Because a lot of people go, well, I got this. I'm probably going to be paying this or that with my rate. And you've said millions of times, don't make that bad decision. Come in and let y'all do something for them, because I know you can in a lot of ways.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, you have dealers that either want to make a bunch of money and don't care. You're going to have dealers that want to go to work for you that hope you come back.
Right.
And there's no other gray area. There's not anything that sits in the middle. And that's why we endorse the dealers that we do and direct you to the dealers that we do, because you heard Jason say, you know, a bunch of times, he doesn't want to sell you one. He wants to sell you a bunch, and your friends and your family and everybody else that you're in
generational
contact with.
selling.
Yep.
Yeah, there's nothing better than a referral. That is the kudos in the car business when you get a referral for somebody. Let's take a quick break. 214-787-1190. That's 214-787-1190. If you got questions about where to go, who to see, and what to do, we'd love to help you here on the Automotive Edge Radio Show on 1190 KFXR, part of the iHeartMedia Network. Quick break. We'll be right back.
So, you know, your buddy Rusty is in Sherman.
Yeah.
So we're bringing him back in July.
Yeah?
Yep.
So I traded in my truck, and Justin gave me a number. I said, well, I like Rusty's number better. He goes, we'll call Rusty and tell him to put that truck on their lot. So I said, why don't you call Rusty? I didn't get a response. But I was happy with the number anyway. And I got to tell you, you wouldn't believe, because I park outside in my my garage. I can't get that truck in.
Okay.
I have it. My house was built in '88.
Oh, gotcha.
And so it's lower, so that antenna will hit, and I can't get it in there. But you wouldn't believe how many people have said what a classy looking ride that is. Not
what?
Good looking truck or anything.
What
they
color
walk up
did you get?
The silver.
Oh, okay.
The gray silver. Whatever.
Yeah.
Chrome wheels.
Nice.
Got the 22s on it.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. And they're going, out of all the trucks and cars we've seen in your driveway, other than the Corvettes, that is one classy looking rig. And even one of the younger neighbors, he's like, dude, that's got to be one of the classiest rigs I've ever seen. He said, it's just classy looking. He looked inside.
But I've been right, dude. Since you
This is our theme song for our new show, Playing Possum.
Belly up at the bottom
That's
of
Possum
the bottle,
Dynasty.
listening
Yeah.
to Georgia.
Possum Dynasty. Here it is. Me and Jason Larner.
Just
And Possum.
It's like Alan Jackson. Oh, it is Alan Jackson.
That's Alan
Okay.
Jackson.
I've got 100 watts of curtain coming through the speakers of my stereo. Don't want to see no.
So Bo's going to be the new. He can't be Uncle Si. It'll be something else. Uncle Bi. I don't.
I'm gonna be Daddy Bopaw.
Daddy Bopaw. And, it'll open up with him rotisserieing a possum
And
over
playing-
a campfire.
Playing
I'll
out
sponsor that show.
the Alan Jackson.
I will
That's
sponsor
going to be
that
our
show.
opening show right there. And we'll have to be out there in our gear, though. Our
Yeah.
possum gear, possum hats,
Yeah.
our possum guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Next
all
thing you know,
decked
y'all
out.
will be in Cabela's and
Yeah.
everywhere else.
Yeah.
Then we put our own.
Possum
We'll,
call.
we'll put our own. Possum call, and we'll have our possum clothing.
Yeah.
Possum clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
clothing line.
possum juice to attract like to have the
Exactly.
deer spray
Yeah,
and
the
Yeah.
the
get some
deer.
possum spray.
Yep.
We'll do all that. We're on the right trail there, buddy. We can do it.
Yeah, because Granny on Beverly Hills, she made that possum stew.
Well, there you go.
We got our Jethro.
You got our Jethro right here.
We see you get your rope
That's
belt.
right. Give me a rope belt.
You'll be
That's
our
right.
you'll be our guest appearance every now and then. Yeah,
I love Max Bear on that show.
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be fun.
But I got to tell you, out of all what I've driven, that has been the nicest ride I've had in a long time.
So I that's what I have now is the full size Silverado.
Do you have the 22-inch wheels?
I might. Yes, I might.
Because
That's
that's
that
what he-
blue one right there.
Oh, okay.
Well, dude, you still got stickers on.
Yeah,
Well, it's
look
because
at that.
it's still for sale.
Are you still test driving it?
but,
He's test driving it.
well, but anyway, I love that truck. That's great, and they keep putting me in these trucks, and man, it's just
Is that a high country?
that one is a high country, yeah,
I love it.
and the ride quality, the quietness.
Well, I came out. This is what's so funny. I came out here to holler at you. You had to skedaddle,
Mhm.
and I'm out there looking. You had no Tahoes. You had one, but it was sold. The red RST. And told me there was a deal working on it, and I'm out there walking around going, "No, what the heck? I'll just wait." Because my truck only had 3,000 miles on it, and I'm walking up there, and all of a sudden I looked over and I saw that
10
truck, and I
seconds.
went, "Man, there were some big wheels." I'm a visual guy, right? And I went, "Wow, that's pretty cool." And I looked at 22-inch wheels. So I started looking at it, and the salesman had taken the price off a red one, and I went, "Well, hang on, my wife has the same color in her Camry. Nah, I don't want it." And so I see it over here. I'm looking at this thing, and I went, "Hey, pitch me the keys to this truck right here." I get in that thing. I went, "Done." He goes, "So what are we doing here?" I said, "Just go ahead and write this one up." He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Just go ahead and write it up." And he goes, "Here's what I'm wanting for the truck." And he was like stunned. And he goes, "What?" I said, "Just go ahead and write it up."
Mhm.
And
Making it easy.
so I got home, and the back door opens, and I hear, "What the heck?"
Mm.
I went, "Hey, honey." She goes, "You've always called me on color and picking something." And I didn't even hear from you. I went, "Surprise." So anyway, beautiful truck. I love the ride. I love the handling. And
We have to do an intervention with Kurt and his purchases of
that
vehicles.
is the ninth
Okay.
Chevrolet from here.
And you've had Silverados before,
Two of them. And then my son got one.
So y'all the culprit for all that.
maybe.
So I sent my son.
Y'all the supplier.
Well, Colton came over here and he goes, they had the Texas edition, 15 grand off, crazy
All
numbers on it. And so he had a Honda Accord that we bought him for graduating college. And he calls me up and he goes, "Dad, can I have all the equity?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, it's your car. You can have all the equity." He sent me a picture. Boy, he bought that black Z71 and he goes, "Dad, I love you and I appreciate it. And here's my truck." And I looked at it and I went, "That's it." "Dude, you bought a Z71. He goes, "I did, Dad. I stepped up and I can afford it. And I bought me a nice truck." Man, he is proud of that truck.
Awesome.
So anyway, Rusty took good care of him, and he loves his Chevy Silverado. 214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190. Let's talk about what's going on here at El Dorado Chevrolet today. I have one pulled up here, 2025 Equinox EV, Blazer EV, Silverado EV, 0% for 60 months, and save 10% on the MSRP. That's a lot of coin.
It's a lot of coin, but it doesn't just stop there. We also have 0% available on our gas Silverados, or our regular Silverado, if you would. Not to mention $13,000 off Silverado pickup, $6,000 off. Hey, if you don't need a full-size truck, you want a mid-size truck like me. I love my Colorados. So how about $5,000 off of those? Hey, you need a heavy duty pickup? We got $6,000 off of those too. So a lot of great product for the Silverado line. There's everything available. You can get everything you want. We do have some Tahoes that came in. I hate to tell you, Kurt, but we did get quite a few Tahoes and Suburbans.
Go ahead and give
since
him
the last time he was here.
Go ahead and give him a bid on his truck.
Yeah, I know. Go trade him out. And then the Equinox, man, talk about some great looks on the Equinox. They have completely redesigned
I
that
knew he's going to
vehicle.
stop.
You hold the show here, brother.
What's that?
Why did you do that?
Do what? You think I called him and said, "Hey, hold up, Kurt's here. Don't bring the Tahoes." No, they showed up. You love that truck.
You love that.
You love that truck.
Yeah.
It's the right color. It's got
Tahoe
wheels.
Now you got to sell him on the truck.
You got to have something to live for, right?
Yeah.
Let's live for the Tahoe next time.
It's got 300 miles on it. Can we flip that?
Come on, let's go.
I came here to buy a Tahoe, and what does he say?
There's no Tahoe.
3 days later, hey man, I got a boatload of Tahoes out there.
Time passes. The Traverse. If you don't necessarily need a Tahoe, but you want a 3-row SUV, man, what a great!
Boy, are they making that Traverse just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
It does. So it's lengthwise, same length as a Tahoe. Room-wise, it's just a little bit narrower on the inside. But what a great ride in that vehicle and the new
and
design
dollar for dollar. I mean, you can't go wrong when you compare it to a lot of the mid-size SUVs. There's a lot of luxury to that Traverse.
There's a lot of luxury. Standard equipment is a power liftgate. Who doesn't need a power liftgate? Now, my wife's 5'3". So for her, yes, power liftgate's kind of mandatory in a lot of her stuff. And to have that as standard equipment, and Chevrolet thought about it the right way. They said, listen, if we put it on everything, it gets to be cheaper. Right?
Yeah, good point.
Buy in bulk. Put it on everything. It gets to be cheaper. So, and then, yes, going back to the EV Equinox, hey, you don't have to buy it. How about you just try it for $299 a month? We do have a great lease program going on with the Chevrolet Equinox EV. Man, and then Trax. Let's talk about that a little bit. My daughter drives a Trax. Trax starting under $22,000. Where can you get a new car, new SUV?
And I will tell you, you back up a couple years ago, there was nothing pretty about that Trax.
No.
It belonged on a track going somewhere south. Whoever the platform team they got together was on, I think they have built one good looking rig for $22,000. You're going, what am I getting for $22,000? Come out and check it out. You're getting a lot for $22,000.
You're getting a lot for $22,000. And then let's not forget the Trailblazer. You know, the Trailblazer does have in the active all the off-road capability that you need if you're looking to go camping and doing some stuff. Look at that Trailblazer Active. That's a great vehicle for all your off-road needs. But a lot of great inventory going on. You have low rates available, 0%. And, of course, we also have Mazda. Don't forget about Mazda's going on. They have 0.9 available on a lot of their vehicles right now.
I tell you, my one of my top picks is the CX-70. You can get a V6 with a turbo, all the luxury amenities inside. I dig that rig. It's in my top 5. You know, I've got a need for speed. I'm different from a lot of people. I mean, I like acceleration. I like torque. And then I drove that 70. I went, holy cow, they package. And it's the only one in its category that you're getting the V6 with the turbo and that many amenities for that price.
Exactly. And it is a luxury vehicle. You go inside those vehicles, it's not plastic. It's real wood that's on those dashes and on those doors. Beautiful, beautiful styling.
And you got a lot of Tahoes today.
I mean, a lot, yeah.
It's like wrong on every level.
It's not wrong.
You could have bypassed that. And waited until I went to the restroom or something and had that conversation.
And then
with
don't
Bo.
forget about Corvettes.
You know, I like this white.
I'm trying to, but I can't.
I'm not a big white color liker, but I like it when they trimmed it out a lot with black. I do like that.
All right.
It really makes it nice.
Yep. That's real good styling. So Corvette's doing great. You know, there's a lot of great things to look at, but if you haven't been around Chevrolet in a while, come check us out. You don't have to buy just to try. Come out, drive some of the vehicles, see if they fit. You know, we understand that you work hard for your money and you deserve the right to be able to decide on how you want to pay for that or use that money. So come out, try us out. You know, we're tire kickers are welcome.
That's right.
Yeah.
I always tell them tire kickers are welcome. When you're making and spending this kind of coin, because cars are not cheap, but when you got a world-class vehicle starting at $22,000, which is unheard of, and then go up at, just as high as you want, all the way up to, your top of the line vehicles. There's something for everybody on the lot. And then you got pre-owned in the middle. You've got Tommy Milton down there at Mazda. I mean,
Oh man, let's talk about pre-owned real quick. 300 vehicles available.
Oh, cool.
Wow. And they're doing great. They're and there's only one way to do that. You got to put the right money in trade-ins. And so they're putting all the money, top dollar in trade-ins right now. They need those vehicles. Pre-owned market's hot right now. So they are definitely stepping up, putting the money in it. It's a great time to buy. Listen, with discounts are back, rates are low again, and used car values are still holding awesome. Did you see that in the news that used car values are still high?
Yeah, they're still doing really well. When you look at, people here, the market's up or the market's down. When you look at coming through, the Fauci virus, the numbers went up, 18, 20, 21%. You're looking from MMR. So when people say, well, it's down 10%, well, it's still up 11.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And it's never gone back down to pre-COVID values. The big thing was we lost 2.8 million vehicles at lease returns over the year. And you figure 2.8 million, and that's just beginning. Then you got to look at how long Herd, Savius, and Budget were hanging on to their cars. They're keeping these cars 30, 40, 50,000 miles because they couldn't come to you and get new cars.
Mm-hmm.
And so that pulled theirs away from the pre-owned market.
Plus, you said earlier that people are keeping their vehicles 10.5 years.
Yeah.
They're not turning the newer ones and even buying them. So it shrinks that.
We had a couple that bought a Silverado from you last month, and their vehicle went up $1,500 from the previous month on a vehicle. And they're going, how is that? And he goes, did they look at it wrong the first time? I said, no, it's supply and demand.
Yeah.
When the market, and everybody monitors the market every day, and you sit there and you look at MMR and you look at a vehicle, let's say MMR is $18,000 and it's going at the auction, all of a sudden you see 18.5, 19.2, you're going, well, gee, the used car market isn't anything like what they were saying it was.
No, it's a lot like the stock market, right? You values change, they move up and down, and the best way to do it is just put all the money you can in it, get the vehicle, make customers happy, and help them buy a new car.
Quick break, 214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Dude, I am not a happy customer.
You ready to go yank that ninth time banner down?
Okay. Hey, if you were just manager instead of GSM, I'd elbow you. By the way, Kurt, we got Tahoes
There's
in.
one right there. Oh, it's backing up though. Okay, maybe I'm not. Maybe they are selling pretty
And
fast.
you got another one over here.
Another one right there. Yeah.
Thanks. What do you think that high country's worth?
All the money, baby.
I have to tell
All the money.
although I feel like that, I like that.
How's Mama doing?
I like
Good.
the truck better.
Good. We're hoping to get our clearing in June,
Nice.
so that we'll get off all that stuff.
Yeah.
Walking around with that ticking time bomb of a defibrillator strapped to her.
Now,
Yeah.
what does that do?
So it's a vest that monitors everything that's going on.
Okay.
And at night it uploads the information. But if for some reason it feels like you're having a episode, it will defibrillate you.
Which means kind of resuscitate you?
Well, shock the heck out of you is what it means.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Has she
And
had any of those?
no. Well,
Okay.
it's funny because they're metal and they rest against the skin.
Right.
Well, dry skin and metal have a little bit of a friction and a rub,
I'm
and
sure.
it bounces. And so therefore it tells the machine, hey, something's wrong, go ahead and shock you. And that's a scary situation
I'm
because
sure it
you
is.
are vested in.
Especially if you're out having dinner, all of a sudden,
All of a sudden you get those shocks. Huh?
shake that
It's like
martini in your glass.
It's like a shock collar, right?
Yeah,
Like
it
on a
is.
dog.
It is. So, but anyway, we're looking good.
Is everything good?
Yeah,
Nice,
everything's great. We'll get our clean bill of health. I just got back from Albuquerque again, made that trip.
Taking or bringing?
Taking, we brought and then we took.
Yeah.
So you go back to school again first part of June?
I go third week of June.
Okay.
Third week of June.
And so when do you graduate?
December is my last class, so it'll be April of 2026.
So you're going to do a cap and gown. We'll need to have all that happen.
I don't
Am I
think
gonna
it's
No,
a
they
cap
bring
and
them all to
gown.
the footsteps and do the big picture.
Yeah, we do
Oh,
the
yeah.
big pictures.
Give them their certificate.
I want to see you in a cap and gown graduating.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you what. When I got mine, that was like the golden key to do whatever I wanted to do. It was, and I was really fortunate to be with a lot of great people. That
Cool.
because my big problem was fixed operations, and boy, that time I spent back in service was boy was it
Big
an
plus.
eye opener. Yeah, because used cars and fixed operations can sink you quick.
Mhm.
And having to stay on top of that game. And I worked the service drive. I was writing
Tickets, and the whole
tickets,
thing.
and I did it. And the only way is looking at numbers and then living the numbers are two totally different things. I mean, the world revolves around numbers. Everything works off of numbers, but then you got to figure out how do you achieve those numbers? How do the numbers get where they are? And how do you change the numbers that you want to change them? And so, and listening to you the other day when we were standing back in the room, your verbiage, your words, and your catchphrases, you can tell you're picking up a lot of cool stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, and the thing about your salespeople and selling and attitudes and mindset, you can tell you're getting the gig.
Mhm.
I mean, not that there was anything missing. You're adding to your repertoire.
Yeah,
And I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he goes, "Well, Dale, man, I was just hanging out with Long over here." I said, "I know he's in school." I said, "Well," I said, "You ought to hear what he has to say about the positives." He didn't talk anything about the negatives, adding positives to a good situation. Because I mean, you're 9-time Chevy Dealer of the Year. Where do you go from there? You
Right.
can always improve.
you can always improve. Yep.
And here's what Judge Christopher Gregory says. Good morning, my friends. Want to drop by and say hi. Kurt, you better call me.
Yes,
I'm
Yes.
just repeating the message.
I know.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was waiting for you to say.
Okay.
Did
But
you-
yeah, I think you can always improve processes, just like you can always improve people. And I think a higher in education enlightenment for an entire dealership is not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all.
I was listening to a story about a GM, and he told the salesperson, this guy's selling 30-something cars a month, comes and goes and does his own thing. Now he's gotten a little pompous and arrogant about it. He goes, "You want me to help you to get to 35?" And he goes, "No." He goes, "Why not?" He goes, "I'm doing what I want and come and go and do what I want." And he goes, "Well, you know what? Today's your last day."
Oh, yeah.
He said, "You're kidding?" He goes, "No. If you're not looking to improve, you can't work here." He goes, 30 cars isn't enough. And he goes, "Now when I know your potential is better than 35. And that salesman left about a week later. He was, "Hey man, I'm sorry. Help me get to
what do
35.
we say? If you're green, you're growing, and if you're ripe, you're rotten.
That's right.
So
214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190. If it's a Toyota, it's Freeman Toyota, located on the affordable side of the Metroplex, 183 and 820. My buddy Dane Miner, general manager, BJ Stankovic, and my newly found cousin, Jerry Patterson. Isn't that weird? His wife is my wife's cousin. Didn't even know it. And he walks up and he goes, "Hey, cuz." I'm with, "That'll never happen." And found out. Yeah, we're what do
you
you
got relatives everywhere.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he's
Must be
related
hard
to
to
everybody
date.
around here.
popping up all over the place.
He's like Abraham.
So you get 2 years of Toyota Care, and then Dane Miner gives you more, and you pay nothing. And he's extending it out to another year of Toyota Care, and then look at what he's doing with the 7-year edition. So if it's Toyota, it does not get any better. I've known Dane Miner for 42 years. My brother just retired from the Freeman Auto Group after 42 years, and I know Dane's heart and the way he runs his Toyota business. If it's a Toyota, there is not a better place than Freeman Toyota. Find them online. You got all these lease programs under $300 a month going on right now at freemantoyota.com. Joining us, General Sales Manager Jason Long.
Well dressed, Jason.
Oh man, slick Mo D.
Wear a hat next time.
Oh, that's cool.
And he waits till Saturday to unveil the Tahoes. That's really nice. Really, really, really nice.
You gotta leave some for customers.
You didn't get the invite? They had some coming today?
Well, it's funny. I last week I was looking at a Yukon, and you know what the guy said? "Please don't buy it." I said, what do you mean don't buy it? And he goes, buddy, you know we'd have to give you a deal. I've only got one. And I'm getting sticker for these. And he goes, please. Okay, see you later. So I was up here to see Jason, and lo and behold, but you know what? I have no complaints. I have no complaints because I'm going to tell you
vehicle.
what, I had no idea the ride I was going to get from here to Fort Worth. So I'm happy, but now I may just have to hang around here a little bit after the radio show and see where we're at on everything. Jason's like, they haven't even titled the truck
I
yet.
quit betting him because he owes me about 5 407 barbecue dinners and a truckload of Dr. Pepper.
Oh, boy.
Because I'm keeping this vehicle. How many times did you hear that? I'm keeping this vehicle.
I've said it to myself.
Yeah.
I know it goes.
Well, I have 4 buddies in the car business, and I'll put up a couple $100 and bet the over and under. 3 went with over 8 months, and 1 went under. And he called me up and he said, buddy, we're going for dinner. He said, why? I said, you are.
Oh, man.
So I had that truck for 90 days, but I thought I wanted the off-road, really meat and potatoes, here we go vehicle. And oh, well.
Well, what he didn't really like was the black wheels. That's really what he's going to tell you. He likes those chrome wheels on those vehicles.
Oh, I do. I'm a chrome guy. I'm old school. I love the chrome. And I've got to tell you, I've never had so many people say what a classy looking rig. In fact, we had our Bible study Wednesday, and a bunch of the guys' Bible study. I was sitting there talking, and Melinda goes, yeah, he got another truck. And he goes, you just bought a truck. And he come out and goes, God, that's a classy looking rig. First thing he said.
Dude, when y'all plan your Bible studies, do they ask what rig you're going to have at the house when you come? Should we prepare what we need to look for?
I was really upset because I had the garage open. He goes, where's your blue Corvette? And I went, don't talk to me. It's purple. Leave me alone. So anyway. Joining us, Jason Lawing, General Sales Manager here at Eldorado Chevrolet. You know, this summer, I'm really excited about where things are going because we're seeing great interest rates. We're seeing huge rebates and incentives on the trucks, which is we're the truck capital of the world here in Texas, and so that will never change. But the cool thing about pickup trucks is that if I bought a Chevrolet pickup truck from you today, with the discounts that you're giving, I'm driving off the lot. And I've never said this before in my 37 years. You're driving off in an equity situation.
Correct. Yeah. That's the great part. You're exactly right about Silverado pickups. It's hard to lose money on them just simply because we are in Texas. This is the cowboy Cadillac of the world, is the Silverado pickup. And they hold their value. They do very well. They're built tough. They're built, designed to go off-road, to do all these things and not mess up. So, it's a great vehicle to get. I like the ride quality. I really do. They have that longer wheelbase. They're very smooth. Now, granted, it's not the easiest thing to park every single time, but.
Do you back in all the time?
No, I don't. I pull it.
You know what? I get busted on all the time for not backing my truck in. People think it's like a Harley Davidson. Say you never park a motorcycle front end in. I'm going, it's my truck.
Yeah.
Do what I want.
Well,
but here's the other advantage you have too, is a lot of people may not know this, but Mr. Graff owns numerous dealerships. So you may not have it here, but you can pull from other inventories and make sure you can get it here for them.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We have the availability of having very good sister dealerships that we share inventory with. So combined, we have over 630 brand new vehicles available between all 3 locations.
Nice.
So yeah, if we don't have it here, we probably do have it available somewhere, or we can get it. So, and don't forget about ordering. I think that's kind of gone away by the wayside, but guys, you can still come in, special order the exact vehicle that you're looking for. You don't have to sacrifice saving money to do it. It's the same car deal. Let's just build the exact one you want. Turnaround time is still about 6 to 8 weeks, depending on vehicle. So in a month and a half, you could have the exact vehicle that you want built the way that you want it. You don't have to settle for color. You don't have to settle for more or less equipment. You can come in and order the vehicle that you want. I ordered my last one. And I think it's a great way to get exactly what you're looking for.
I've ordered my cars.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we do order your cars.
30 seconds.
214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190. If you've got a question about where to go, who to see, what to do, we are here to help. Don't go away. Introduce you some great sponsors. We'll be right back. So how are Corvette sales?
Good.
That off-green color down there, bad to the bone.
I just got that one in. Me and a customer were looking at that yesterday on the showroom.
I dig that color.
I asked him, I said, what do you think about that? He said, man, I really like that color.
Yeah. Very different.
And so we were looking at that one and the white one. And I've owned a lot of white vehicles. I do like white. And I said, man, honestly, if I was given the choice between, the white or the off green or whatever, I can't remember what color they call that. I would pick that color.
100%.
Yeah. It's the color of your eyes, Bo.
Yeah, I dig that color. Told Melinda, they got the coolest looking color Corvette. She goes, really, Kurt?
Did you see they're redesigning the interior?
Really?
Yeah, they're taking the buttons off the grab handle and they're moving them to the dash. They're leaving the grab handle.
Really?
Yeah, so
you won't have the run of buttons.
Yeah, you won't have the stack here. It'll all be on the dash. So, I guess people are getting scared and grabbing that handle and hitting buttons at the same time.
Huh.
So, a lot of power in those vehicles.
It's funny. I was signed up for that ride and drive out in Vegas, the Corvette Experience, and they sent me a notice going, we noticed you no longer have that Corvette.
Oh, no.
They check it. They make sure that you are assigned to that VIN.
It's in Pahrump, Nevada.
Yep.
Right outside of Vegas. And I've been. And that is definitely an experience. They drive. Now, they don't drive your car. They drive their cars. And these are not cars that they sell. These are vehicles that they have. But they drive their Corvettes like they stole them. It is the craziest thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's white smoke and there's rubber coming off the tires and they're squealing and scratching. And you're going, how in the world does this car perform this well under this much duress? You're doing G-forces going around corners.
All my buddies that have gone, they get the jump drive and they send
the
it
video.
to me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
You're watching going, you have no idea what that car is capable of.
I knew something was up when they put a helmet on you. I was like, okay,
that's right.
Something's up. Why are we wearing a helmet? Then I realized after I bumped my helmet around a couple of times, oh yeah, I see why we're wearing a helmet now.
Yep. Now they have, that is the now world's fastest full line production car.
Mm-hmm.
That guy from GM that is the head of the platform, he took that car 232 miles an hour.
Wow.
I'm going, that is, my buddy said, would you be in that car? I said, 100% I would.
Yeah.
At 232, at 242, I'm telling you, I would. I don't know that I would do salt flat and get one of those ones to do 700 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But I would be in a Corvette with the right driver at 232 miles an hour. I would. I know where I was going if anything happened, so I'm good.
Banana pudding.
Oh.
Breakfast of Champions. Yep, that's homemade.
Oh, yeah. Well, she comes in, breakfast burritos, sausage, banana pudding, coffee for everybody. She's the best.
Yeah. It is. She is the best.
Yeah. How long has she been here?
Pat, as long as I've been here at least.
Really?
So I would say probably.
Well, she hadn't been coming in on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Because the other lady was coming in a lot.
Well, here recently, religiously, she works in our accounting department.
Yeah, because the other lady's not here anymore.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
She was always posting stuff on us and sharing us and
Lori. Yeah, Lori.
Yeah, she tunes in every now and then still.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't think you did sweets, but that banana pudding will change
It's
your
not
life,
that
won't it?
sweet. That's what he's going to tell you.
This is my all-time favorite dessert right here. Period.
Is it the pudding, the bananas, or the wafer?
All of it.
It's all of it.
Yeah, my sister Pamela, every Christmas she goes, I know what I'm bringing. Is there a high demand for her banana pudding?
Well, my wife started using Biscoff cookies in the banana pudding.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh,
Did you notice there's There's vanilla wafers and Nilla wafers.
Yes. Yeah, there's two different things.
Yeah, I didn't.
1 minute.
I was at the store. I saw. I'm like, wow, how dumb
Nilla
is
is the original.
right.
Yeah, vanilla is
That's
the
good that you
knockoff.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow, that's pretty
But Judge-
impressive.
Judge
You're
Gregory.
I didn't
100%
get this second chin just by not eating.
Judge Gregory says we're making him hungry. He loves breakfast tacos too.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's a new barbecue joint over in
Oh,
Allen
yeah?
that's pretty good. I'll tell you
Really?
about it. Oh yeah.
In Allen?
Mm-hmm. You like pork belly?
Well,
You like smoked pork belly?
Yeah.
You ever had it with like a little bit of a crunch on that fat on the top where they almost like fry it where it puffs? Oh, buddy. Yeah, that talks.
Do you like your barbecue wet?
I'm okay. Yeah. I'm not a super dry barbecue guy.
Yeah.
I like mine lean, but
You're talking about brisket.
Yeah, what he eats is
No,
disgusting.
I want it with the fat on it, the
yeah.
bark,
Thank you very much.
pores, and the juice.
Yes.
I'll
I
take
can't
all
do
of
it.
it.
Now that's where the flavor is.
Ain't gonna
Uh-huh.
happen. No, ain't no flavor in that.
Yes, it is.
But I'll say something controversial. Brisket's the pot roast of barbecue, as far as I'm
Do you know how many briskets you get out of a cow?
20.
No.
2. That's
Two,
it.
but the well, there's subcategories.
214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190. It's the Automotive Ed Radio Show, helping you with all your automotive needs, whether you're buying, selling, trading, leasing, parts, service, or body shop. This segment goes to our new sponsor, the group of Crest dealerships, Crest Volvo. Right now, over 150 certified Volvos in stock, 17 different models to choose from. 6 of them are plug-ins. You get $7,750 cash allowance in their XC90 models. And then right next door at Infiniti, you got the QX50, QX60, the all-new QX80, the Century, Autograph, and Lux models. I've driven that vehicle, and it's off the hook. If you want that big, bad luxury vehicle, take a test drive. And then you go over to the Cadillac side, and you have the Lyriq 2.9 for 60 months, Mystique, all new 2026. And then you got Cadillac Premier Packaging, where they pick up and deliver your Cadillac to you. And you still got cars available, the CT4, CT5, both in V series, which means they rock and roll. They get up and go, horsepower and torque. And then your Cadillac and your XT6 and a whole lot more. And then it comes down to the quality of care and service. And you get it all three at CrestCadillacTX.com, CrestVolvo.com, and CrestInfinity.com. We're going to be there live introducing you to our new sponsor on June 14th. So put that on your calendars. We'll be there and would love you to meet the great folks at the Crest Cadillac, Crest Volvo, and CrestInfinity.com. Joining us, Jason Lawing, General Sales Manager, Eldorado Chevrolet. How do you feel about working with Bo?
What? Should I step out of the
I was,
room?
well,
I
no,
was
you
talking to
can-
Jason.
Oh,
See there, you already interrupted.
well, I didn't know if I needed to hear this or not.
No, I like working with Bo.
Do you?
Yeah, he's
Here we go.
aged so well he started over again. It's like working with a 5-year-old a little bit. So that's what I like about him, right? He's willing to learn. He's
You watch him grow.
watched him grow.
And then regrow
He's
again.
selfish with his wisdom. That's the only thing I will say.
Yeah, I held
No,
on to that.
He holds on to his wisdom, does not let it out.
So let's talk about. You know what the number
And
one?
all the knowledge I know about vehicles too. Right?
Yeah. He's just
That's the number
selfish.
one reason.
You know what the
Selfish
number
with
one complaint in the auto industry is right now from all the surveys we've sent out, which has been hundreds and hundreds of hundreds. The number one complaint in the auto industry. What do you think it is? Either one of you.
salesperson doesn't know the product.
That was number 3.
Number 3. Oh no.
A time it takes to buy purchase.
Number 1.
Number one.
Process.
Process.
Was number 1.
See, he
2
let out that
was
wisdom.
Hell,
expense.
that's drop mic.
Number 2 was expense, and number 3 was lack of knowledge when you're spending that kind of money.
Uh-huh.
And so here at your dealership, I love that word when I went to the Toyota factory that was above us at Kaizen. making better.
Mhm.
And I always had to take a look at the processes. But if somebody was to walk in the door and go, hey, Jason, I'm here to buy an automobile. I have a trade in. How long am I looking to get in and get out of here? For me, I've always said that's a difficult question because Saturdays are always your busiest day. But I don't know that you could.
Well,
do you have an
could
average?
Really qualify
yeah, I have an
time.
average. I mean, let's break it down real quick. Make it easy. By the time we say hi, sit down, figure out what all we want to do and what we're looking for and all that kind of stuff, 15 minutes. All right, you're adding it up, 15 minutes. Talking about the vehicle itself, going on a demo drive, which I believe do not shortcut yourself. Drive the car, make sure it's exactly
that should be the longest part of the process.
But between going over the vehicle and driving the car, add another 30 minutes to that. Now, I think trying to figure out the right deal and getting all that, 15 minutes. And between washing the car, going through finance, getting all the final paperwork done, and doing everything from there, add another 30. So that's what, an hour and a half?
Yes.
Hour and a half. I really,
Depending on how busy the
So,
dealership is.
now,
At the most, couple hours.
now cut out if you've already found the vehicle that you're looking for, if you already know the stuff, if you've already got all the information, cut another 30 minutes off of that. You can definitely get done in an hour.
So you feel comfortable though within a couple hours for
Oh, absolutely.
almost anybody
Yeah,
in and out.
absolutely.
You know,
I think
when
a
I get
couple
a
hours
call on
sounds long to me.
Saturdays,
Right.
it will not fail that today I'm going to get a call and go, I've been at this dealership now for 5 hours and we still don't have a deal.
No, that ain't right.
I'm telling you, it never fails. I'm like, what have you been doing to be at a dealership for 5 hours? What could you
Listen,
possibly
if you hit, I'm
be
gonna make
doing?
a rule. If you hit 2 hours in my dealership, come find me.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And-
You won't, but I mean, not that you won't find me. You're not going to hit 2 hours, but I'm just saying, if you do, come find me.
Well, here again, I have a buddy that I went to a dealership with, and he goes, buddy, we've been here for 3 hours. I said, you've driven 5 vehicles.
Well, okay,
Well,
that's
that's
a
different.
And he goes,
Right.
well, yeah, last time I went in, I picked out a vehicle and just drove. Buddy, we've driven half the crap on the lot here. What are you talking about? Why do you think we've been
Well,
here
that's
this long?
okay. Listen,
Yeah,
if
that's
you
fine,
want to
but-
do it, that's fine. I'm all for it. You know.
Well, you can't do that and then complain about the time. But you're saying you're okay with that. It's just
Yeah.
going to be a little longer process.
yeah, I'm
So
okay. If you want to drive everything we got, I'm fine. With
Well, you know, I had a dealer that got mad at me, and he called me up, and I didn't even know the guy, and he goes, "Hey, is this Kurt Chase?" I said, "Yeah," and he goes, where the heck do you get off telling people that a demo drive should be on average about 45 minutes?" I'm like, "Well, sure." And he goes, "Where did you come up with that?" And I said, "I pulled a rabbit out of that hat." And he goes, "Look, you sent 2 people over here, and they're killing my Saturday time." And I just hung up the phone. And he said, "You hang up on me." I said, "You'll never see another customer." And he goes, "Really?" And I says, "Here, go to the automotiveedge.com. And so he made a couple phone calls. And he goes, "Hey, Mr. Chase, I got to tell you, I'm really sorry. I had no idea who you were." No, it's got nothing to do with who I am. I educate consumers because you know what? The feel of the wheel makes the deal. And I remember when Sammy Gonzalez told me that many, many years ago, he goes, "You're a great salesman if they love what they're driving and they like you. They don't have to love you, but as long as they like you and they love what they're driving, you will be a successful salesperson." He goes, "This," because I remember in training, it was always make all right-hand turns, go to a beautiful spot, step out and go, "Wow, look at your car. Who's the first person that's going to see it? Where's the first place you're going to take it?" And my manager, you know what? He would come out, God rest his soul, and say, "Did Kurt ask you who the first person was going to take?" And if they said no, and so I used to educate them. "Hey, look, when we get back to the dealership, this guy's going to come out and ask you some really stupid questions." And he goes, "Really?" I said, "He's going to ask, could you just say yes?" One of them slipped up and said, "Well, yeah, I'm taking it over to see this person. I'm taking it here." And he looked at me and goes, "Are you educating your customer before you get back?" No. And here's the thing. I remember the first time we took a drive and we came back almost an hour later, and my manager was mad. He goes, "We drove the route. We couldn't find you." You bet. I didn't go the route because that's not how they drive their car. They don't take all right-hand turn because they say, you know, if you take a left-hand turn, you're going to look left and then right, then look left. And it's very, very distracting. It's very nerve-wracking to make left-hand turns. I'm like, okay, fine. But I'm not going to be back in 15 minutes. Now, I did have some people that when I was working, they said, "Hey, this is my 5th one. I want this color. I want these options. I know everything about the car. And I'm like, all right, well, let's just take it for a quick drive. Just whip it around. They're going to ask me if you drove the car. Otherwise, I'm going to get a lecture. And we'd whip it around the block. But this was, a 5-generation buy or whatever. That's so unique. It's not the norm by any means. And I want the consumers getting out and driving and spending the time in the automobile.
One of the questions we ask is, what's your commute like, right? Are you highway driving, or see me, I go up and down 380. So it's a mixture. Boy. It's a little highway-ish, and then it's stoplight.
They need to call that Sedative Boulevard.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so for my commute's going to be a lot different than someone that's getting onto 75 and onto 121 and going to Louisville. Their drive's a little more linear, straight. They don't have to worry about all the stop and go stuff. So that's one of the things we do ask. Hey, what's your commute like? What's your drive like? Because for me, and my drive's a little long. I take on average 40 minutes to get to work. I have to listen to the radio.
Yeah.
I have to listen to the radio. I got to listen to something. I can't sit in quietness for 40 minutes.
Would your vehicle fit in the garage good enough?
Yeah.
All those kind of things.
Yeah. It's stuff that's really important to customers, not just what's important to us.
Well, I would tell them, are you willing just to sit down and spend a few minutes with the salesperson to find out what really is cooking here and to minimize your time here? What do you mean? Because a lot of times, I don't want to be bothered. I'm just looking. I got yelled at. I was, oh, you're Ben's brother. Ben looking. Hey, smart Alec. Here's the thing. I would bring him and say, here's the deal. If I could just take a few minutes and just get down to the facts, whether it's today, tomorrow, next month, and minimize your time here, right, would that work? Well, sure.
Yeah.
And then you find out what the hot buttons are, but spend the time driving. And I'm just blown away by how many people go, yeah, man, your customers went to Colorado and back on that test drive. Okay. Did you sell the car?
And I've had situations where customers wanted a specific vehicle. We went out and looked at the vehicle, and they were like, this is not what I thought it had. Why does it not have, or does it have, or I didn't know it did have.
Right.
And, and finding out all those things that are important for folks and making sure they find the right vehicle to spend their hard-earned money on, I think is the right way to do business.
Buyer's remorse and buyer's regret are horrible things.
Doesn't look good on your dealership,
no,
does it, when that happens? You don't want that either.
No. Well, you'll never get a referral. You're going to get a bad survey, even though you did nothing wrong. 214-787-1190. That's 214-787-1190. Quick break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Even my brother, when he was managing a dealership, he called me and goes, hey, you're killing me over here with these test drives. Well, no, you're not used to the way it should be done.
Yeah. Drive the car.
I was a little bit different. When I saw that truck, I actually drove it to the back lot and back up here, but I'm a car guy.
Yeah.
A little bit different for me. And people go, do you go on a long test drive? I went, no, because I'm in them all the time. It's a little bit different for me. And I know what I want. I would
test drive vehicles when you're not even buying them, just to test drive to let the customer know what they're like.
Right. Yeah, starting next week, I got my GoPro and everything, and we're going to be coming out to all the lots, and we're going to be doing live test drives, and then we're going to be recording the test drives and putting them up and doing the interior, exterior. Here in a few weeks, we're going to come by and sit and do an interview with you, and all this stuff is going out to the media. We got all new publications that we're doing. I'm telling people that, these ride-alongs are not going to be short. Now, we will minimize them on the video and say, hey, for more, go to the YouTube channel to see more extended, but on Twitter and the site and everything, they'll be minimized a little bit. But you won't believe how many people go, you know what? I hate to tell you this, but I drove that vehicle for a while and I don't like it. Okay, great. And your next choice would be what? Well, I want to go take a look at. I hope that doesn't bother you or upset you. I'm like, look, it's your money. You've got to be happy with what you're driving. You got to be happy. So every month when you make that payment, you're not upset because it's not what you thought it was.
Right.
And the test drive will tell you everything.
Mm-hmm. It will.
I've had people, he goes, we're going to start traveling a lot. COVID taught us that we need more family time. We're going to do this. And he brought one of the vehicles home and the luggage didn't fit. And he goes, man, I just knew this was going to work, and it didn't. He goes, what do I do? I said, well, take it back, buy something bigger.
Yeah.
It's that's the whole key to this thing, is to have your salespeople that are infallible in their product, listen to their customers, and spend the time away from the dealership.
Correct.
It's not inside the box. That should be the easiest part.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember so much. I can remember so many things Sammy Gonzalez taught me was that should be your shortest part is in the box.
Yep.
It's not the longest. And if it's the longest, that means A, you didn't know your product, and B, you didn't know your customer.
Well, that goes back to the mantra. Pressure makes diamonds, but not happy customers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
you know,
good one.
the knowing the vehicle and well it does, sometimes you don't quite understand why something's so expensive. You go, well, why is this thing so expensive? And then you don't
Right.
realize that it's got 360 cameras or it's got
Little things they don't see physically in front of them, right?
I mean, most vehicles now have automatic climate control, just like your house. You set
Right.
it to one temperature, set it and forget it. It goes on and off on its own. Most people don't know that.
Right. Well, you know that it's something that the feel of the wheel, like Kurt says, is a real thing. How's that work for you? You see out the rear view mirror is good. The seat's comfortable. They fit you like. Can you reach the pedal without, having to get a pillow and all these kind of things? I mean, and so these vehicles all, Kurt says there's a butt for every seat, which is a good one. My butt would really be happy with a lot of them.
Well, I still think vehicles are an extension of our personalities.
Sure they are. No doubt.
Yeah. And I think,
My wife names her vehicles.
Cool.
I know you hate that.
oh my gosh. So
Do you name yours? Tell me you don't.
Nikki does.
Yeah. Purple Haze does too.
Melinda does. My boys do. So I'll tell you a funny story. I bought my son his first car, and he was elated. He was asleep, and I showed up, and I said, hey, Dad's car got smacked. I want you to come outside and open up the garage. And, oh, my gosh, he comes flying downstairs. We're there with this new car. Well, it was a Friday. Well, that next Monday, he pulls up to the house, and out jumps 3 other football players. They all get out of the car, and Cal Gregg, who was the biggest one, walks up and he goes, hey, Mr. Chase, how's it going? I said, really good, Cal. What's going on? He goes, well, we named the car. I said, what car? He said, Colton's car. And he named the car. And here's all these, big husky guys. And he goes, I said, what'd you name? He goes, Lil Blue.
Oh,
I said, what did you just tell? L-I-L. And I went, Cal, get off my property. Colton goes, what's that? I said, tell me that you 4 football players on the way home did not come up with Lil Blue. He goes, oh, yeah, Cal did.
Oh, yeah. My wife has now gotten into naming the cars. It probably started with the Bel Air, but the now that she's got her vehicle,
Yeah.
mine does
it's
too.
named. It actually has stickers on it. With
What's the name?
She named hers
Khaleesi.
Kramer.
I'll have to show you. She's done a dragon.
Khaleesi.
It's a dragon themed vehicle.
That's a new one.
It's
Purple Haze named hers Kramer because there's an episode on Seinfeld where Kramer goes and test drives a
So I
vehicle.
put that on it the other day.
What is that?
Oh,
It's dragon scales.
there you go. That's
Yeah.
cool. Look
Wow.
at that. Ah,
There is never a dull moment
No.
at the Longhouse,
No.
is there?
No, there's not.
that's cool.
Pretty soon his roof is going to separate and a dragon's just going to come up, breathe fire,
Breathing.
kind of like on an Adams Family.
That was my daughter.
Oh,
214-787-1190 is the number. That's 214-787-1190.
nice.
This segment of the show goes to Grapevine
Nice. You
Dodge,
did
the all-new
You did
Grapevine Dodge right
She
there at
did it.
121 and William D. Tate. Just go to their website, and you're going to see 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, 0 APRs, no payments for 90 days. If it's a Dodge, the place is right there, William D. Tate, 121. They knocked down the used car building to make more room for inventory, and that new showroom floor is as state of the art as it can be. And my sister-in-law is baking fresh cookies every day for everybody. I mean, how can you go wrong with nothing wrong with a good hot cookie and while you're shopping? The place, Grapevine, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram, 121 and William D. Tate. Stop by, and a new dealership doesn't mean higher prices because Brandon got a massive allocation of vehicles for the remodel, and the building's 22 years old, and I know that because my wife is the only employee left there from the time they built it. The place, GrapevineDodge.com. That's GrapevineDodge.com. grapevine.com, and let Jimmy and the guys know you're listening to the Automotive Edge radio show. That's grapevine.com. Joining us, Jason Long, General Sales Manager here at Eldorado Chevrolet, 9-time Chevy Dealer of the Year. I got a concern.
Okay.
I believe that now that they've added 84-month financing, where I'm seeing the numbers grow, 84-month financing rose because the average amount financed went down a little bit because rebates and everything kicked in. On average for the last month was $41,473. 13%. It was 4%. Now 13% of the market is going to 84-month financing, which doesn't offer the best rate by any means. Is that going to kill? I would think it would. If people are having to extend to 84 months to afford a vehicle, what is that going to do to products that are very beneficial to their ownership that they don't get because they're extending to 84 to hit a budget? I'm going, this has got to fix itself somewhere.
Yeah, it does. And I think you're seeing a little bit of market correction now with discounts, right? I think you're seeing a little bit of market correction with offering low rates at short terms to entice folks to finance at a shorter year. So yes, we're going to have to help pull out. And that's what we always do, right? As dealerships, we're here to kind of help folks get back into a normal situation and not expose themselves out for that long of a term. But to answer your question was, are they securing their loan for the term? Was that the question? And and I do see out in the market nowadays, before when you had a service contract or a warranty, if you would, they would stop at 100,000 miles or they would stop at 6 years. Well, now you're seeing longer term service contracts that are covering you the length of those times. Obviously, gap insurance would be super important at that point in time. If I was going to go 84-month term, definitely want to get gap insurance. But, I think still, though, even with that out there, we're still seeing cycle times of customers trading here every couple or 3 years. And, again, as a dealership, we're here to help. That's why we've got the big discounts, low rates, and to help ease them back into a normal situation. So,
yeah, trucks, the average trade cycle on a pickup truck's 42 months.
Yep.
And it's been a very, very big consistent. Cars have extended out to 10.5 years. Big SUVs, 9 point whatever years. But the truck cycle is doing really well. I just, golly, I can't imagine. And I heard some of the people talking about, well, here in about 4 or 5 years, you're going to see 96 months. I'm like, that would be a shame.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't
see.
Well, and again, I remember when 75 was a long term.
Yeah.
And so now we're looking at 84s, and it's you're right. I think it's becoming more and more practice. But I mean, as long as we as dealers can still help folks and help them with their trade cycles and getting them out of those situations, then I don't see too big of an issue, but it's going to take work on our part to do it. So
I remember when we jumped to 48 months and business went through the roof. And then within 2 years, they started offering 5 years. And although the rate was $16.99, it went through the roof. I had one of my biggest months ever. I sold 40 trucks. And boy, I was like, this is absolutely incredible. And we didn't see 72 months, I think, until around early 2000.
Yeah, late 90s.
Was it late 90s?
Late 90s, we saw 72. It wasn't, again, just like 84 is now. It wasn't common practice, but.
Yeah, the rates were horrible. Mm-hmm. And so I wonder, what the cap is going to be, and everybody right now is hollering tariff, tariff, tariff. I haven't seen any effects on tariffs, and you wouldn't believe how many people call and say, well, hey, I was buying this vehicle and they said the reason that my trade-in value went down, the price of the new one went up, is because of tariffs. I said, it's the opposite. Your trade-in value did not go down because of tariffs. And here's the thing. If you look at Volvo, you look at Porsche, you look at BMW, your values went up because there are tariffs on those cars. And it slowed down them getting new products to market. But pretty much everything else. You do have a couple of products that are foreign built products, but we're not seeing tariffs where you're going, oh my gosh, I've got to jump the price $5,000.
Yeah, I had actually did a survey this morning in our meeting of how many folks in the room had, there's a good 100 people in there. We said, how many people here have paid a tariff yet? And I didn't have a hand yet. No one raised a hand. So, I haven't seen it. But I have seen the effects of it on the market as far as trade-in values, and they are higher right now.
Yeah, they have not gone down. And here again, it's due to supply and demand on certain makes and models. And so a lot of people are going, well, hey, what's going on? I guess we're going to have to add rebates or incentives. In the long term, that's going to kill us. Well, that's just not true, because there's a seasonal cycle all the time in the auto industry. And you got end of the year, you got build out, you got model change, and they're not. I remember, and you probably too, you back up many, many years ago, you wouldn't believe how many people that I would say, gosh, if you would have just traded sooner before the new model came out, it dumped $3,000, it dumped $4,000. Those days are gone.
Yeah, those days are gone. And you're seeing slimmer inventories on dealership lots. So the inventory is fresher, it's cleaner, right? It's all newer, which does help out a ton. And let's face it, automobiles are the second largest purchase anybody ever makes.
Yep.
And so houses being the first, and they're on 30-year cycles. But going back to that, we're the second largest purchase everybody makes, but we're also one of the number one movements of money in our economy.
Yep.
We move a lot of money in our economy, and we know in order to keep our economy going and to keep things rolling, we have to make deals. We have to help people out. We have to put the incentives to keep those vehicles affordable for your common customers. So,
well, you realize still to this day, and I tell people the largest employer in the world is the auto industry, by far. And when you look at everything, not just the dealerships and the manufacturers, but everything that's connected to make the industry work, I mean, it is massive. And so, oh boy,
that's pretty there, buddy.
That one is pretty.
That's a good looking rig.
I do like the little green, grayish green.
Yeah, grayish green.
Beautiful.
So pull the Silverados out, your best seller on the lot.
Equinox.
Yeah.
Equinox is one of our best.
And how's your Equinox EV doing?
Equinox EV is fantastic. Honestly, I probably sell equal amount EV to gasoline.
Stop it.
Between both those
Stop
vehicles.
it.
Between both those vehicles, we're probably doing 70 cars a month. Equinox
Really?
EV, I can't stop it. Equinox EV is the hottest selling vehicle we have. I get a bunch in, they all sell out. I've got 69 in transit. Just to give you an idea. Yeah, just to give you an idea how fast they sell.
Wow.
And so what's the mojo behind that?
The mojo behind that is you can lease that vehicle for 2 years, do one payment of $6,000, and that's it. So it's called a one-pay lease.
Yeah.
Right.
For everyone out there. And that's it. And if you think about it, Bo, if I said, hey, listen, can I borrow your car for 2 years? I'm going to put 20,000 miles on it. And here's $6,000. You would probably tell me to buzz off, right? You'd be like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, correct.
What? Are you kidding me? You're going to keep it for 2 years and put 20,000 miles on it? You're only going to give me $6,000? No, I'm out. I'm not going to do that. Right. Well, that's the program we got,
and
right?
That's why they're coming off the shelves.
Yeah, that's why they're flying off.
So
the
are you
shelves.
certifying EVs?
Can you
certify an EV
as pre-owned?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
214-787-1190. Quick break. Don't go away. We got a whole lot more coming up here on the Automotive Edge Radio Show on 1190 KFXR, part of the iHeartMedia Network. We'll be right back. So are you able to certify, are you one of the dealers certify non-Chevrolets?
Yes, we are Car Bravo. So we can certify anything but Cadillac. Cadillac still is the only one that is very particular on their programs.
And that's you adding your own internal warranty on the
No, that's
certification.
GM's. That's Car Bravo's. That's a GM program.
So Bravo's doing it.
Yeah, Car Bravo.
Well, bravo to them.
But Fords, Dodges, Acuras, whatever it is, we can certify those vehicles.
What's the young kid's name over on the desk now?
Taylor.
Taylor
Chandler.
Hey, kid, he'll never grow up. He'll never look old.
No.
I saw him coming through here this morning, high stepping, big old smile. It's good to see. Because I remember when he sat in that office.
Oh, you remember he was a salesman? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I
Good
forget,
to see
man.
it.
It's been a decade, right?
And then you got the other young kid over here in finance.
Oh, Dylan
Dylan.
Stanfield. Yeah.
Yeah. Promoting within.
It's nice to see people grow up in the car business.
You know, that was one of the toughest jobs I ever had, was promoting, because it was always difficult for me to go, look, anybody can be a manager, but can you manage?
Right.
And I had some people go, wait a minute, I sell more cars than anybody. I said, that's why I don't want to promote you.
Yeah, that part doesn't matter. And it doesn't. Yeah, it's not always the highest volume salesperson we have that makes it.
Well, I've seen some of the worst managers come out of that situation.
And then
in my life.
you've got some folks that they're happy with what they do.
They don't want to do
Maddie.
that.
Look at Maddie.
Yeah.
Right? As long as I've known Maddie for a quarter of a century, that's what he likes doing.
Yeah.
You know, he likes interacting with customers, and selling cars.
I heard him speaking in the meeting the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He was
You can usually hear him doing everything, but yeah.
You know, I remember Mr. McDavid came to me and he goes, Donna goes, hey, Mr. Mack wants to see you upstairs. I walk in, hey, Kurt, how you doing? Great. What's going on? You have a seat. I was like, can I stand? And he's laughing because he knows that
something's up.
Yeah. And I said, what's going on? He goes, well, I made a decision today. And I went, can I go back downstairs? And I can hear Donna out there laughing. He goes, you're going to be my new manager. And I went, I beg your pardon? I said, Mr. Mack, with all due respect, I don't want to be a manager. He goes, I'm not asking you. And I went, so you're going to make me quit? He goes, you're not going to quit. I said, Mr. Mack, and I had a record month. I sold 49 cars. And I'm telling you, and I said, I made more money than Eddie and Mike. He goes, I understand. I signed your check. And I went, can we negotiate this?
You'll make you a manager and save money.
He goes, no. And I said, well, Mr. Mack, with all due respect, you know how many salespeople you're going to have to hire to compensate what I do for you? And he goes, gosh, I love talking to you, Kurt. We've already figured that out too. And I went, so you're going to F&I school, because he believed that if you're going to be a great desk manager, you need to go to F&I and learn how to pencil deals and balance a good car deal, how to structure it right. Yep. So I went to F&I school and I came out and he goes, I need you over at Saturn. I went, oh, Mr. Mack, you're really killing me. And he goes, and I want you singing the goodbye song. And I went, are you kidding me? You say, we all say Saturn. And he
you do it in that little deep voice like you did?
I was so mad. So I look up and there's Mr. McDavid, David Jr., Jimmy, and all the other managers from Honda standing there waiting for me to sing this launch song. And then lo and behold, once I did my little tour of duty there at Saturn, he called me up and he goes, hey, I need you running Buick GMC. And I went, well, Mr. Mack, I'm still making more money selling cars. He goes, those days are over, Mr. Chase, unless you want to go somewhere else and sell. And it was really, really tough for me because I had so much fun. I won all the Honda walk-around competitions. I had all the trophies. I mean, I loved what I was doing, and nobody could outsell me. I mean, but I learned how to interview people, and I was infallible in my product. And that was the reason I was successful. I had great mentors going, hey, live, eat, and breathe your product. And I was there when we had the Del Sol, the Preludes, and man, I love selling cars. And, I look back and I go, well, if I change anything, what would I be doing now? But I was fortunate enough to work for a great owner that invested time and knowledge in me versus just putting me in a sink or swim situation. And then I learned, and he goes, and you'll learn that now that you've got to go to school and you've gotten everything behind you, that anybody can be a manager, but can you manage? And it was a great lesson I learned.
Well, they all fired him. That's why I ended up in the radio business.
Well, that's right. 214-787-1190 is the Automotive Ed Radio Show, helping you with all your automotive needs. And if it's a Ford, it's the home of the love it or leave it promise. Grapevine Ford, one right there on Highway 114 between Main Street and Texan Trail. You got Cameron and Cameron. I had a lady who walked in there. She said, I need to speak to Cameron. No, there's two Cameron, Cameron and Cameron on the sales desk ready to help you with your Ford needs. And I want to give a shout out to Rachel. She's driving her new Mach-E. and absolutely loves it. And she goes, Kurt, I don't care what you say. I love electric vehicles. And my Mach-E that's great. I'm not saying I don't like them. It just doesn't fit my lifestyle. But they build a great one from the Ford F-150 all the way through to their full line of vehicle. Chaz Gilmore and his staff. That's why they're the home of the love it or leave it promise. You don't love it when you get it home, bring it back, and they'll put you in the one that you do love. If it's a Ford, make it Grapevine Ford, Highway 114 between Main Street and Texan Trail. Ask for Cameron and let them know you're listening to the Automotive Edge radio show. We'll be out there on the 21st. Put that on your calendar. Introducing the great folks out there. Go to grapevine.ford.com. Joining us, Jason Long, General Sales Manager here. And how is it in the hot seat, buddy?
It's great.
Yeah.
It's absolutely wonderful.
Well, cool thing for you is you look at your subordinates, and that's a pretty strong team that you got there.
The other part of it is that you saw I was with the customer this morning.
Yeah, behind closed doors.
Well, yeah. So, I don't, you guys were being loud. We wanted to hear.
I hear you. Got you.
Toning us down.
We, I don't think it changes. It doesn't change.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't change. The difference is now I have a little more time to actually inspire salespeople.
Nice.
Inspire sales managers.
Nice.
That's the beauty of it, really. Honestly, that's the change.
You're really managing.
Yes. Yeah.
People want to be managed by the right people.
Correct.
100%.
Correct. And I think that's the big change. But other than that, no, it's still selling cars, talking with customers, helping folks with problems every single day. And it's just part of what I do.
Well, if you can believe this, we're halfway through the year. We're on month 6, which means that in 5 months and 23 days, Santa Claus is coming. Not that anybody's counting but me. What are you forecasting or looking at? Because, I know you sit with Mark and Jazz. Everybody's got a forecast. Everybody's got to kind of massage that crystal ball that, it's a 50-50 deal because we don't, we forecast and hope of. But for the rest of 2025 and changes for the 2026 models, what are you thinking?
I'm number one. I'm anticipating growth still. So for those of you that don't keep track of the car business, I don't blame you for not. 2019, we were tracking up. Boy, it was rising and rising and rising. And 2019 was, and then of course, COVID hit and volume went away.
Yep,
volume went away. And now, fast forward to 2025, halfway through the year, and we are outselling 2019.
Nice.
Which was our more volume peak months.
Yeah, I see the SARS jumped up to 17.2,
yes.
which is the sales annual adjusted rate for retail sales.
So I'm seeing a lot of stability, but I'm seeing growth in sales. Number one, the product. And don't forget, even though Christmas is 5 months away and some change, we are 2 months away from the new body styles coming out. 2026 will be coming out here pretty soon. You're going to see a little bit of a shift in the Corvette. They're going to rearrange some buttons. The look's going to be the same. Some button placement's going to be a little different. But I expect to see some pretty cool things coming out into the market. Probably some updates, maybe some cool colors this year coming up into 2026.
Maybe they'll build a purple one.
A purple truck?
Purple Corvette.
Oh, no, they're not going to do that.
Well, they've already.
No, they will.
They had one. You bought one.
Yeah.
Rub that in, Bo.
But
between you and the vets and the Tahoe showing up at 1,000.
It's been a good day for
no,
you.
I see it's going to be a really good year. I expect that used car values are going to stay high for trade-ins.
Yeah, I do too.
I expect that rates will probably continue to stay the same outside of manufacturers' incentivized rates. Now, I believe that the manufacturers will probably still incentivize folks like we are now with 0% financing on Silverado pickups. So I still believe that all that's going to be out there and available. I'm looking at a market that you can steadily count on. We're already seeing some slow phase going into the new body style, new year models. So it's not going to be like it used to be in the past where, okay, new year model comes out and I still got 100 of the other ones on the lot.
Yeah.
That's not happening anymore. They're running a little smarter. These things are phasing in and phasing out very smoothly. So it should be a great year for growth.
You know what I really want to see in 2026? is I really want to see the domestic step up and jump into the leasing game, non-EV.
Yeah, there you go. That's probably
that would be
that's a good
that would
good
be
idea.
the catch me out to see.
Well, I think that is coming.
Where you've got X amount of products under $300 a month with TT&L down, and because a lot of people ask me all the time, hey Kurt, how much better is an import than a domestic? That's why let me ask you this: how do you rate an import truck over a domestic truck? And they're like, what do you mean? That's when you look at the top 3 brands in the world forever, we don't ever hear you saying, well, I'm going to run over and buy an import truck but when it comes to cars, we're always saying, well, it does this or does that. And I said, you know what? That's a manufacturer's issue, because we both know that Mary Barr with the stroke of a pen could say, hey, let's get these residuals up and let's start getting into the lease game, which, if you back, I think it was about 5-6 years ago, Chevy started really pumping out some really good leases between your Equinox or Malibu, and they're going, wow, here we go. And then it just kind of faded away. We know that the Fauci virus hit, and, things were happening.
And I think a big focus has been on EV, and they were trying to get EV launched and into the mainstream. And now that we have seen a little bit of litigation out there that's overturning some rules that were put into place about having mandates of 100% EV inventory by 2035. All those things are disappearing now. And we're going back to what Kurt had so elegantly said before, is let's produce vehicles that customers actually want and not try to force something down their throat. So we're seeing that. And I think with the EV, at the end of this year, EV incentives from the federal level are going to go away.
Yep.
And,
the qualifier is going to be tight.
Yeah, qualifier is going to be tight.
And one thing that Chevy's done that I'm really happy about is you're not putting front ends that look like electric vehicles on these products. There's so many products out there right now. There's 8 of them, and I'm not going to mention them. Their front ends look just like the electrified vehicles. I'm like, and they're ugly. Right. And so when you take a look, you guys have stayed true to where you're not following where you have a surplus of electric front ends and just smacking them on whatever products. But when you take a look at your Trax, you take a look at your Blazer, your Trailblazer, your Equinox.
We still got a grill.
I want to see.
They're not smooth mouthed.
Yeah, I want to see lease programs.
Yeah,
I really, and that is the one all end all. When you see a low payment with a low down payment on a product, that tells you the manufacturer digs what they're building.
Well, and I do have to say this though, and I've always felt this way. If the lease payment and the purchase payment were exactly the same, I would still lease it. I would still lease it. And the reason why I say that is
you're talking about a 36-month versus a 60-month buy.
Correct. Even a 72-month buy.
You'd still lease it.
I'd still lease it. If it was a 72-month purchase and it's the same payment as a 36-month lease, I would lease the car.
Yeah.
All day long. And again, I'm a junkie, kind of like Kurt. I like to trade out every couple of years. That's just what I do. But, that way I'm still underneath manufacturer's warranty the entire time I own it. And I've got options at the end. I can trade it at any time. I can turn in the lease.
Or buy
I can still buy it. I can still sell it. I can still do all those things.
Yep.
Versus if you buy it, you only have if you do a conventional loan, you only have one option: trade it
or sell it.
That's it.
But
That's all you got.
You know what I'd like to see for 2026? I'd like to see 2026.
Oh, you will.
I'm going to be in the same vehicle in 2026.
Oh, boy, here we go.
I am.
Oh, that is not going to happen.
It's going to be Melinda's car.
yeah, that's the only one I look at.
That's the only one that's going to happen.
That might make it, but
what I'm going to have to do is get in my truck and go straight to the highway and not drive around and see what Tahoes came in.
Yeah.
Do you want to bet another? I don't even want to bet you. You owe me so many Dr. Peppers and 4-7 barbecues. I can't. But it is not going to happen. You will not be in that truck.
Because Melinda goes, what happened to the Tahoe? I went, I don't have an answer.
Sold out.
And
sold out.
And here again, too, when you look at the big SUVs, I just think there's a way where people in the upper echelon of the domestic can go, hang on a second here. Here's what we're going to do, because you're getting the vehicles on the road. The average lease is going to be 3 years, and then your pre-inventory is going to stay really steady.
Yep.
And that's what I'd love to see for 26. 214-787-1190. Don't go away. We're going to get things wrapped up right here on the Automotive Edge Radio Show on 1190 KFXR, part of the iHeartMedia Network. Download the iHeart app, and you can pick us up every Saturday, no matter where you are. We'll be right back.
Maybe. So, the
Jive talking.
the kicker for Kurt is you know what the kicker was?
Hmm.
When you said a while ago, here shortly we're going to have the 2026s coming out. That did
Well,
it
he knows.
right
He knows
there.
August is turnaround.
It's turn. So I'm giving it
Yeah, the end of the year. It is,
September. He'll be in another vehicle. I
hope not.
every time.
I hope not.
September. Hey, Kurt, we got those new 2026, Tahoes in. You ought to come check them out. They're pretty bad to the bone. I guarantee you, before we leave this dealership in around, no later than August,
it's going to happen.
it's going to happen.
I just wanted to have the coolest.
So I was showing Bo that. If you don't know what that is, that's my daughter. That's my leg.
Great work, huh?
Yeah.
There's a song about that. Sly and Family
Incision?
Stone Family Affair.
Is it?
You let your daughter tattoo you.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. Now we traded.
That's nice. Very nice.
So I did one on her too. We
That's
traded.
gotta hurt.
Nah.
Baloney.
No. She almost fell asleep.
Yeah, after how many cocktails?
No, none.
There's
None.
no way that
You had
feels
that on
good.
your arm?
Hers. I did on hers.
Oh, okay.
There's no way that feels good. No way.
It's not wasn't that bad.
Not that bad.
Actually, I think it hurt more.
And everybody's
laying
got
down.
a different value on bad.
It hurt more laying down on that hard.
What I
table.
remember when I had mine on my ankle or side of the leg here, it was a little sore. It's a lot of color though. Did you see that one? You've seen that one before? huh?
No. Oh yeah, I have seen that.
That is so.
That has
dumb.
held up very well.
Yeah.
How
it's
long
been a
ago?
long
How
time.
old is
Well,
that?
I got it when he was like about 1, and he's 20 now.
That's done very well.
Yeah.
You've got beautiful skin, Bo.
Well, thank you.
That's really dumb.
Beautiful skin.
I don't get it. Why you? I don't care when no one says that hurt. That
well,
hurt.
I did it because I got his birthday in there, and I was afraid the older I get, the less I'd remember.
Yeah,
Hey, it's not a bad
you
idea.
can put a plaque on the wall too.
But it's going to stay
And you
with.
can't even see.
What
it.
if
You
I
got to
g-
look at it upside
What?
down.
Well, I put a mirror there. I may not be able to bend down, so I got a mirror and look at
There
it.
you go.
What
I
if
don't
I'm
care
lost?
what anybody says.
What if I'm-
It hurts.
What if I'm lost out in the desert?
Well,
And I can't remember his birthday.
or what if it's hacked up in a bunch of pieces?
So my son,
You identify.
Stay my leg.
who I love so dearly, Zachary, his best friend, Amici, his dad was a chief of a tribe in Papua New Guinea.
Wow.
So he came into town. Zach met him, and so his dad sent him a face mask that the chief wears in Papua New
Wow.
Guinea.
Hmm.
What did he do with that face mask? Made it this ginormous tattoo on his body.
Oh,
Okay.
So his whole thing. So he comes
this
over,
is Zach.
Zach, and he goes, "Hey, Dad, I want you to check something out." He took his shirt off.
There you go.
What in the world? And he goes, "Pretty cool, huh?" I said, "What is that?" And he goes, "That's that face mask from Papua New Guinea." I went, "Now I got to tell you what, it is really cool." But I said, "How long did that take?" And he had to do it in like 2 trips or whatever.
Yeah, long section.
There's no way that felt good.
See, I think Bo's probably the same opinion as me. Is that man? We're just going to use this body up, and you're not going to be able to recycle anything.
No.
It's all. It's
Okay,
going to all be
yeah.
ruined. I'm going to use it up. I'm not going away pristine.
No.
Sorry, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna be stand before the Lord in crutches.
You know, that's it. You know, it's not going to leave it pristine. But
I don't. And I know that hurts. Second they hit that needle first time on me,
No.
I'm out of the chair.
no, I'm a gentle. tattoo.
No, you ain't gentle enough,
Oh
brother.
yeah.
No.
But
What do you think about my whole back making it Porky Pig?
And that's all, folks. huh?
That would be awesome.
That's all, folks.
That's all. Yeah, we could do that. Well, do I have to wait till you go? We're just going to roll you over.
I'm telling you, I just can't get over, how much that hurts. I don't care what anyone says. It would. Your daughter fell asleep.
She was falling asleep during it. Yeah. She after she equated it to a light sunburn. Yeah, it's like a light sunburn.
Does your wife have any?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Tons.
214-787-1190. We want to thank Jason for having us out today. Let's talk about the specials you have cooking here at Eldorado Chevrolet.
So, how about $13,000 off of Silverado pickups? You got 0% available on Silverado pickups. If you don't need a full-size truck, you want a medium-sized fun truck like what I have, in the Colorado, we've got $5,000 off those vehicles. And I'm telling you, my truck is more than off.
And that's no gimmicks or games.
No.
It's not that they take it off and they add in $4,000 worth of ads. Doesn't
and
work
then
that way.
If you're looking for something that's a little more heavy duty and you need to haul some things around, we do have 3/4 tons, 1 tons, all of your heavy duty needs. $6,000.
And talking about heavy duty, you got your big commercial facility open and rocking.
Holy cow! If you're a company out there or an individual and you need a 5,500 to 6,500 flatbed, dump bed, hay baler, whatever you're looking for, we've got it over there. We've got over 127 medium duty, which to me is really the heavy duty vehicles that are out there for commercial use. So for all your commercial needs, come by and see us. We have a whole department dedicated to you in a ton of selection over there. We've got box vans. We've got box trucks. I think I said dump bodies. There's so many beautiful vehicles over there for all of your commercial
you can actually
needs.
sit down with one of the reps and configure what's advantageous to your company.
Not to mention lines of credit. So for some of your companies out there that are just kind of starting, you're needing some lines of credit in order to increase your fleet. We have that availability. We've gotten in very good and have learned that very well. It's a great program. But yes, every vehicle.
What do they cost? It used to be Business Link.
Now it's they have Comtrack and they've got.
So when you get your line of credit and as your business grows, you can just pick up the phone and go, "Hey, I need another truck." Your credit line is there waiting for you.
You're ready to go. And we see it quite a bit. Some folks will get a $300,000 line of credit. They only need one vehicle, and that's fine. And then as their company grows, they go, "Hey, I need another one." Yep. Or if they need to get one service, oil change, tire rotation, all that kind of stuff, which we do. We do have a medium duty service facility here. Hey man, I really don't want to put this vehicle down to get tire rotations and oil changes done. I'm still making money with it. Well, get a second vehicle. There's all kinds of advantages there, and it's been a fantastic program. We've got some really big accounts now, and we're helping those folks manage their inventory. But beyond that, we do have vehicles starting under $22,000 in the newly redesigned Trax. What a beautiful car. Love that vehicle.
And that price is less than the average used car right now is $25,240. So you can buy a brand spanking new vehicle with a warranty
under $22,000. That's crazy. And then of course Equinox, one of our very popular sellers this year. Come check us out. Look at that brand new design. Beautiful, beautiful vehicle. Third row vehicles, Traverses, Tahoes, Suburbans. We've got a little bit of everything here. Got Corvettes here. So a lot of great inventory. Rates are low. Trading values are high. Come on out. Come check us out.
See why they're 9-time in a row Chevy Dealer of the Year. Want to thank everybody for another great show. Big Wheels?
Yes. Always great to be here at Eldorado Chevrolet in McKinney, Texas, along with the awesome Jason Loing, who can do anything. Not just sell you a vehicle or be the manager. He could make you.
He'll build you a rocket ship.
He'll build you a car. I mean, like a model car. Build you a purse or a computer bag.
Sharpen your knife. Give you a tattoo. I mean,
make you a knife. I mean, this is the place.
It's the place.
I mean, I thought Houdini could do a lot. Jason Long blows him away.
This is it right here. Always good to be here with you, buddy.
Remember, for all your automotive needs, go to theautomotiveedge.com. Sign up for the newsletter. I want y'all to know that we purged 2 files of over 2,000 people, and only one of the emails was bad. And so my son is really taking over. If you go to the website, you can see all the new videos. Starting next week, we'll be doing the ride-alongs, myself and Big Wheels, introducing you to so many new products inside and out, and letting you know where to go, who to see, what to do. Remember today, turn off those electronics, get reconnected. Tell that person you love them. God bless each and every one of you. Have a great and safe weekend so we can all be together again next Saturday here on the Automotive Edge Radio Show on 1190 KFXR, part of the iHeartMedia Network. And Maddie, thank you so much for a great show. We love you. And you have a great weekend yourself. Everybody, take care.